is as star-studded a matchup as we've had here. Seasons and careers, historic ones will end tonight. The winner to the semis, the Red Raiders and the Bruins, are ready to roll in OKC. Let's dance on the dirts.
The dirt is a diamond meant for shining bright. Where stars belong.
Back-to-back K for Nigel. Terrific.
Turn the dance floor into a runway.
And the Bruins continuing unprecedented home run heights.
All we have is each other, and that's all we need.
I could turn the dance floor into a runway.
Texas Tech has embraced the role of the villain in this postseason.
We just have to go out there and play for each other.
Click, 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 click. I could turn the dance floor into a runway.
One loss and it's over, but one swing and you live to play another day.
Stand tall with style and win. This is the Women's College World Series.
Welcome back to the NCAA Women's College World Series presented by Capital One. Steamy Sunday night in Devon Park. The second game of our doubleheader. And in the opener, the defending champs backs to the wall where they are most comfortable. Katie Stewart's 3-run homer in the 6th off Jordy Fromm gave the Longhorns a 3-1 win. They would not relinquish. Tegan Cavan and Texas are back into the semifinals. They end the historic career of Jordy Fromm in the run of Nebraska, and they'll face Tennessee in the semis for a second straight year. This time the Lady Vols need just one win to advance. All three semifinal teams currently are SEC teams. Texas Tech or UCLA will join them. The winner gets Alabama tomorrow night. Thanks for being with us back in Oklahoma City. Kevin Brown, two-time All-American, Amanda Scarborough, Alyssa Lang down on the field. It's steamy, and the action today should be quite slugfesty. Texas Tech and UCLA, two of the best offensive teams we've ever seen. And again, you hate to get to this point as a neutral, but it's going to be the end of the line for some of the most historic careers of this generation.
Yeah, we knew this moment was coming. In February opening weekend, we talked about what a star-studded senior class that we had coming into this 2026 year. And a couple of stars could potentially be ending their career. I mean, we saw Jordy Fromm go down earlier. Is it going to be Nyjah Kennedy, or is it going to be Megan Grant and Jordan Woolery, seniors that have had prolific careers at their programs?
Well, Nyjah Kennedy's going to tie the World Series record for appearances as a pitcher. She'll be starting today for Texas Tech, the original impact transfer for this Texas Tech program, which has completely changed in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, the way that Nyjah Kennedy has taken over softball, she has been the name on everybody's mind. She has been the it pitcher when she was at Stanford as a freshman. Of course, she transferred over to Texas Tech and she led them to the Women's College World Series. Last year, it was all on her in the circle. This year, they brought in transfers, specifically offensive weapons beside her. Last year, they didn't have a big offense. This year, they do. All-Americans throughout this offensive lineup, and Nyjah Kennedy is going to get the start tonight. We have seen her so many times here in Oklahoma City.
Facing an elimination game and potentially her final collegiate game with that lineup that's built to win around her. Could be, on the other hand, the final collegiate game for Megan Grant and Jordan Woolery. It probably won't be if they hit the way they did on Friday, an 11-0 run rule of Arkansas to stay alive for the best offense maybe we've ever seen.
This UCLA offense can absolutely mash. I mean, when we watch them up at the plate, it is home run after home run. They have hit 6 here. Texas Tech can swing it too, but they've only hit 1 here. UCLA has hit 2. They've hit 6 in 2 games, but D1 records for this UCLA offense all throughout: 206 home runs, over 650 runs. Look at that slugging percentage. This is the best offense we have ever seen, and Megan Grant has been the one slugging it out of the ballpark over 40 different times. Jordan Woolery hits behind her. These two are just two of the best to ever wear that UCLA uniform.
No one's hit more home runs in a single season in college softball than Megan Grant, and Jordan Woolery, the second best run-producing season ever. These two offenses are simply two of the best to ever do it. UCLA the most runs, Texas Tech the 4th most runs in a single season in Division I history. The first ever matchup of two 600-run teams in D1 softball. Some of the sport's most epic careers will be extended or ended tonight. Win or go home for the Red Raiders and Bruins. Texas Tech Red Raiders starting lineup brought to you by Capital One. The third highest scoring team in the country, 9.4 runs per game of the Florida transfer. Mia Williams has been on a postseason tear, leading a lineup filled with all juniors and seniors until the sophomore Haley Toney in the 9th spot. Texas Tech 58-8 out of the Big 12. UCLA 53-9 for the Big 10. It's Taylor Tinsley in the circle against Williams. And away we go on a first pitch swing from Williams. Drilled off the top of the wall in center field. Inches away from a first pitch home run salvo as Williams ignites the Red Raiders crowd.
Everybody better buckle up for this game. This is going to be a ton of offense. Mia Williams goes out and gets that curveball. She just smashes it. It says on the TrackMan 227 feet that had home run potential. How did it not get out of here? She squared that thing up. And all she has to show for it is a single because she hit it so hard.
Williams 3 for 5, 2 walks hit by a pitch at the World Series, and she is aboard at first as something apparently got loose in the outfield, or maybe there's an issue with the center fielder Jolena Lamar right now. Looks like one of the communication devices perhaps, as Lamar will get the sunglasses back on and be ready to go. Shot out of a cannon here on this Sunday night. Wow. A long single. Maya Davis goes after the first pitch. Into the gap and left. Over the glove of Riley Slimp. Williams to third base and a Jerry Glasgow stop sign. 2 pitches, 2 in scoring position. Let the games begin.
2 pitches, 2 hits. You can just feel that Texas Tech is going to be aggressive. Look how shallow, or fairly shallow, you see that the outfield is playing against Davis because of her short game, and she just beats them. She barrels up this line drive to left center, and Slimp just did not get a good angle or a good beat on it. She had an opportunity to catch that because she did not take a great angle. It hits off of her glove instead, and now Texas Tech has squared up 2 pitches on the only 2 pitches that Tinsley has thrown.
Might be making World Series history, not sure. First ever visit to the circle within 2 pitches. Might at least tie the record. A single by Williams, a double by Davis, and the junior and the senior aboard as UCLA brings the infield and Taylor Tinsley together.
And Taylor Tinsley has a great changeup. She's clearly going to need to bring that out early in this first inning with the way that Texas Tech has come out and swinging these bats. A lot has been put on Taylor Tinsley in this postseason, in this year of 2026. A couple of transfers, a couple of pitcher transfers left the UCLA program and put a lot on her. Addison Fisher transferred to Georgia, and then Caitlin Terry transferred to Texas Tech. We will see her hit in this game.
We'll see if she ends up pitching in relief at some point, but Terry is the number 6 hitter. 33 wins for Taylor. The woman who just visited her, Lisa Fernandez, tied for 3rd most in a single season wins. Here's Lauren Allred, who does swing at the first pitch. A little changeup. The play at first is not in time. The play at home is late. The play at third is there. Allred to first. Williams scores. Davis out at third. All 3 pitches in play, and Texas Tech gets the opening run.
And this is basically like a swinging bunt from Allred. Mia Williams is so fast. She is such a good athlete. She knows that once she throws it, she can go ahead and go home. Mia Williams is such a great athlete, great dive, and Davis trying to take that backside third base. She's as well has a lot of speed, but well played by the UCLA defense to at least get one out there.
What's the play there for Tinsley? Did she make the right play going to first?
I think she just felt like she had to be a little bit quicker. I would have liked to have seen Williams go back a couple of steps to third base before she made that throw to 1.
Paul.
Everything is just moving so fast right now, though, with the way that Texas Tech is being aggressive, and it's going to put pressure on Tinsley and the defense to make quick decisions.
Well, it's a huge out at third at the end of that play. Don't let that be overshadowed by all of the early chaos. The slugging Jackie Liss takes down and in. If you're UCLA now, you have to feel like getting out of here with 1 would be a huge win. That is no guarantee given the prowess of Liss, the senior slugger from Southern Illinois, who's hit 21 home runs this year, and has the only home run here at the World Series for Texas Tech.
Yeah, which is surprising because this is a home run hitting team for Texas Tech. They've been able to score runs in different types of ways. They have the speed, they have the power. This is a complete offense, just like what UCLA has.
2-1 from Tinsley. Liss out of play for strike 2. What a season for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. 58-8, 21-3 in the Big 12. They're an 11 seed simply because they had a very poor non-conference strength of schedule, in part because they had trouble finding quality opponents to schedule. A program record 39 run rule wins out of their 58. Ball 3 to Liss. Added some transfers last year. Obviously, Nyjah Kennedy was a big one. Jerry Glasgow brought a bunch of players over from Louisiana. This year's team added as high impact a group of transfers as we've ever seen in the sport. And you've already seen a couple of them in Williams and Liss. 3-2 pitch, a called strike 3 on that beautiful changeup. Marty Abazishan, the plate umpire, gives a low strike to Tinsley.
And you see how far back that Liss is in the box as well. So when it crosses the plate, looks like it's right at the knees to me and then tails down a few feet or inches at the very least behind the plate. So Liss freezes and we're figuring out this strike zone early. Great changeup and a much needed strikeout and out for Tinsley.
Taylor Pannell, the Tennessee transfer, batting 5th. And Pannell takes 2 tall. Taylor 1 for 7 here at the World Series. Did score the game-tying run yesterday against your old team, Tennessee, dashing home to beat out a sacrifice fly. Originally called out, but it was revealed she was never tagged. And a ground ball to the left side here. Gets past the third baseman, Alejandre, and the shortstop, Garcia, hangs onto it. Didn't feel like she had a play at the speedy Pannell, and Tech has 2 on with 2 out.
With the defensive alignment with where Alina Garcia started in her ready position, playing Pannell more up the middle of the field, that should have just been a routine ground ball to get out of the inning. But Garcia had to run so far deep into that hole, she's able to get to 1.
And now the former UCLA Bruin. The last time these teams met, here at the World Series just about a year ago, Caitlin Terry grounded out to end a UCLA loss to Texas Tech. And here she is, a Red Raider, trying to end the season of her old team. A strike from Tinsley to Terry. How strange this must be for the 2 of them. Not just former teammates, but 2 pitchers who anchored a World Series rotation a year ago. The new world order in college sports, and Texas Tech all postseason has had to deal with opponents of teams some of their players played for. Nia Williams with Florida, Pannell with Tennessee, and now Terry, who takes strike 2 against her old UCLA team.
Well, you would think, all right, UCLA probably just knows how to throw her from last year, but Caitlin Terry is just a completely different hitter this year at Texas Tech than what UCLA knew her as.
Here's a 1-2 pitch in the air and foul.
She totally changed her stance. She stands wide open, her hands really high. It seems like every time you watch Caitlin Terry hit, from March to now, she's standing even more wide open. So made some adjustments with head coach Jerry Glasgow, who also is the hitting coach. And this is a hitter that has really transformed her power, using more of her legs and thinking of herself as more of a power hitter this year, not just a punch and go hitter.
2 on, 2 out. Down and away for ball 2. And she has turned into a first-team All-American, and All-American for the first time. Top 12 in the nation in ERA and strikeout to walk ratio pitching. And second in the Big Ten in average and on-base percentage at the plate. The 2-2 pitch. On the ground, right side. Bragg is there. Tinsley takes care of Terry. Texas Tech leads 2, but gets 1 in a 4-hit first inning. The first 3 pitches of the game were hits. The Red Raiders certainly don't look ready to go home. and they'll have to deal with a high-powered Bruin offense when we return to OKC.
The NCAA Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Time to see the game's most historic offense. The UCLA starting lineup brought to you by Capital One. An 11-0 run rule rout of Arkansas Friday featured Megan Grant's 42nd home run. Now 5 clear the previous single season record held by Laura Espinoza. She's hit 42 home runs, and UCLA is over 200 as a team. And the Bruins are going to take their big bats and all their history into a matchup with Nyjah Kennedy. Her 17th appearance at the World Series, tying the legendary 3-time champ Debbie Doom of UCLA fame, the most pitching appearances ever at the World Series.
And to get to see Nyjah Kennedy pitch on this field at the Women's College World Series 4 years in a row has been something so special for fans to watch.
And she starts her 17th appearance at the World Series with ball 1 to Riley Slim. Not only familiar territory for Nyjah, but a familiar opponent. The 3rd straight season, the 3rd straight World Series where she's faced UCLA. She knocked them out 2 years ago with Stanford, beat them last year in the 1-0 game to send Texas Tech to the semifinals, and she can end the Bruins season and break the Bruins' hearts for a 2nd time in 3 years. 1-1 to the All-American Slim. Ground ball over to shortstop. Haley Toney is there for the out, and that will set up the big hitters against this big arm.
Well, the one thing that we've seen from Nyjah Kennedy every time that she has been here is a rise ball at 70 to 72 miles an hour up in the zone. The one thing that has gotten better all 4 years that she's been coming here is her changeup. It might be the best that she's ever thrown that pitch yet. She will absolutely need that pitch today.
Megan Grant, first pitch swinging, a mile-high pop-up out of play. And the eyes of the softball world are on the 43-plus feet between Grant and Kennedy right now. A record 42 home runs for Grant, who homered off Kennedy here 2 years ago, and takes inside here for ball 1. Grant has homered in 3 consecutive World Series games, and in elimination games at the World Series and in the NCAA tournament. She's been brilliant. Takes the changeup for ball 2.
And Tinsley got a changeup that looked a lot like that. And the strikeout that she had in the top of the 1st, Nyjah trying to feel out the bottom of the zone early.
Grant broke the UCLA home run record on Friday. Swings away at strike 2 here. Broke Stacy Newman's Bruin record with number 91. Her 42 this season broke the 30-plus year record of Laura Espinoza at 37, 31 years ago. Stood for a long, long time before Grant came through. The 2-2 pitch. It drilled her. A painful way for this All-American at bat to end. Grant to first base on a Kennedy hit by pitch.
Savipula is telling the coaches to come over as that hits her on, looks like her back elbow. Painful, 70 miles an hour. You could tell Nyjah Kennedy was not scared to go in against her. Oh, it's gonna hurt. She's smiling right now.
Grant hit by a pitch for the 14th time this season. First, it looked like it was headed for her rib cage and ends up at the back elbow. So Megan will stay in there. Probably take a lot more than that to knock her out of a potential career finale. So Grant and Jordan Woolery batting back-to-back every game the last 2 years. Woolery off the end of her bat for strike one, and we have really not seen Jordan Woolery get going at the World Series yet. 1 for 5. She's been walked and hit by a pitch. The Big Ten Player of the Year, which is amazing considering her teammates set the all-time home run record. 112 ribbies, hitting .492. And Woolery quickly in an 0-2 hole.
Yeah, these two hitting next to each other, making Grant and Jordan Woolery is like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, they just go together. They just mesh. She's great at the World Series in 24 and 25. Had a couple of home runs, but like you mentioned, a little quiet up to this point through 2 games.
A first-team All-American, third-time All-American, one of the great hitters in UCLA history. And she rips this ball to center field. She's alive now. Woolery makes her mark on this World Series, taking Nyjah Kennedy deep for a go-ahead 2-run home run in the first. Just as we expected in this meeting, one punch met by another vicious jab. And Jordan Woolery has her first home run at this World Series.
Look at this pitch location and how she gets her barrel up to this rise ball. There's not very many hitters that can hit this pitch out like that. Jordan Woolery, she is such a vet. Having her teammates back after that hit by pitch and giving UCLA the lead.
Had been just 2 for 15 in her career against Nyjah Kennedy before that home run, and she is embracing it in the Bruin dugout. 2 strikes on Alina Garcia. Even Kellyanne Perez is smiling. I mean, that's the biggest shock of the game. The normally stoic, seated Kelly.
There's always a vibe in that Bruin dugout. Always something going on in there.
Swing and a miss. Nice bounce back by Nyjah. Gets the strikeout of Alina Garcia. Let's go back to the 0-2 home run.
You can tell exactly what Jordan Woolery was looking for. Having experience off of Nyjah Kennedy, knowing the scouting report. We talked about Nyjah Kennedy's rise ball, and that's a pitch that UCLA is going to go up and look for to get on plane, keep their barrel above that ball. And Jordan Woolery has that look in her eye, the same look in her eye that we saw in all of UCLA when they played Arkansas in that 11-0 win in 5 innings.
For Jordan Woolery, career home run number 78. The only active player with more is the one she drove in, Megan Grant. A ground out from Brie Alejandre ends the inning. 4 hits for Tech, only 1 for UCLA, but it was a big one.
We are going to see more of this, but Jordan Woolery making her name even more known here in OKC and letting out the biggest roar that we have seen. Look at this energy. This is just the first inning so far.
Welcome back to Oklahoma City, where the Bruins have taken a 2-1 lead over Texas Tech. When it comes to their ace in the circle, Taylor Tinsley has thrown every single pitch for this Bruin squad here at the Women's College World Series. Megan Grant told me she gives her all the credit in the world for being a huge part of getting this team here. I spoke with Associate Head Coach Lisa Fernandez earlier today. She said this was no surprise. We knew all the way back in the fall, and so did Tins, that she was going to have to put in a lot of innings for us. She has been prepared for this mentally and physically from the very beginning of the season. She said no matter what happens today, Taylor Tinsley will be able to walk out of the circle knowing she has done absolutely everything in her power to help this team do what it's done this year.
It's been an amazing run, Alyssa. We just saw some of the numbers. Some old school stuff, some Debbie Doom type stuff maybe. He's thrown every inning but 2 2/3 at the tournament for UCLA. Has thrown now 91 2/3, Amanda, of UCLA's last 100 innings, in part because the players she got out to end the first, Caitlin Terry, transferred to Texas Tech, and Addison Fisher went to Georgia. It's not that there's little pitching depth here. There's really not any pitching depth here, and Taylor Tinsley's numbers may have suffered, but her impact's been bigger than ever.
I mean, Kelly Inouye-Perez told us all the way back in February that Taylor Tinsley has gotten in the best shape of her life and that she is going to be prepared for anything. I mean, she said all the way back in February that Taylor Tinsley was made and ready and prepared for this moment and for all the innings that were going to be put on her.
And I know you're glad that we give a pitcher a little bit of love now, because it might not happen much the rest of this game with these two offenses.
She deserves it. You know, Caitlin Terry and Nyjah Kennedy have gotten to share the load over at Texas Tech.
Jazzy Burns out of play for strike 2.
But it is a hard position to be in as a pitcher, to know that there are some options behind you, but really you are the best option no matter what, no matter how tired you are, no matter how many runs you've given up, that you are going to be the one in the circle. And it gives you confidence to know that you have this UCLA offense to have your back.
She's facing 7-8-9 here, but it's a very powerful 7-8-9. Burns, a transfer from Ohio State, had briefly possession of the all-time Big Ten single-season home run record last year, hit 25 at Ohio State. Megan Grant took that away at the end of last season. And Burns, another first-year Red Raiders, had a great power-hitting year. But she is 0 for 7 with 3 strikeouts here at the World Series. In fact, Texas Tech is coming off a 2-1 loss in 9 innings yesterday, where Carlin Pickens and Sage Margetko of Tennessee shut them down. 6 pitch to Burns from Tinsley. That is hit in the air to deep left field. Jazzy Burns ties the game. Just enough love to get it out of here. And an immediate Red Raider answer back from Burns.
Jazzy Burns can hit it out just like that, but she has been quiet at the Women's College World Series. 0 for 7 with 3 strikeouts, and as a home run hitter, putting up big home run hitter numbers last year. You know, her seeing the ball off her bat and the trajectory of that fly ball, knowing that she got it, feels so good. Getting it just out of the reach of Riley Slimp, who thought that she had a chance. Jazzy Burns ties up this game.
Like I said, glad we talked about the pitchers coming into the inning. Burns 8th in the Big 12 in home runs, 9th in slugging percentage. Her first home run, in fact, of the NCAA tournament. Number 8 hitter is Laggy Quiroga, the Tech catcher. And a strike with a changeup.
These pitchers are going to have to be so careful throwing rise balls. Taylor Tinsley's going to have to be careful. If Caitlin Terry comes into this game, she'll have to be careful, and so will Nyjah Kennedy, of course. Of the home runs at the World Series so far, 14 have been hit out on rise balls.
Black ground ball to third. Alejandre retires Quiroga.
In comparison, just 7 off of drop balls. This is a rise ball again, gets up and in on her hand. She lets that pitch get deep, and she didn't even get all of that, but she got enough of it. A 2-strike home run for Jazzy Burns, her first ever at the Women's College World Series, and she knows it, she's celebrating it, and this Texas Tech team is going to fight.
Here's the number 9 hitter, Haley Toney. Tony's first at-bats here at the World Series. Been playing shortstop, but because pitchers Terry and Kennedy often hit, she has not batted until right now. There is Jerry Glasgow, the second-year Texas Tech head coach, whose team has already surpassed the run total from yesterday's 9-inning game against Tennessee and matched the hit total. Of course, that Tennessee team has the best ERA in the country. This UCLA team has the 134th best ERA in the country. Toney to left field, foul territory. Slim can't make the play. Last year these teams met in the 1-0 game, and it was a 3-1 final, and Toney had the big hit, a game-winning 6th-inning homer. She is back as a sophomore, wearing the Captain C on her jersey. A year of great transition for Texas Tech, but Toney, who was a big part of their run to Game 3 of the Champ Series as a freshman last year, has been just about an everyday starter at shortstop as a sophomore, providing some stability for Jerry Glasgow.
Yeah, she has some really good opposite field power that we've seen in her first couple years playing collegiately. Beautiful swing, good range at shortstop. She is just such a good athlete.
In a monster tournament a year ago, only 1 for 11 in the tourney this year, and she strikes out looking on the changeup. 2 Ks for Taylor Tinsley, both looking, both on that change.
You're going to see Taylor Tinsley continue to bring out this changeup. She gets more so the top of the zone in the inner half. Looked like Ramirez, the catcher, was set up on the outside corner. She holds on a little bit too long to it, and it paints the inside corner for the looking K.
So second time through the order, ball 1 to Mia Williams. Had a single off the very top of the center field wall her first time. 24 home runs, a Texas Tech single season record. And this ball is absolutely scalded down the line at third. Slim gets to it quickly. Mia's having a problem right now. She's hitting the ball too hard.
Well, and if you want to know why Florida in the Super Regional was pitching her inside hard, this is why. That pitch was outside, and she gets all around it, 78 miles an hour off of the bat. And Mia Williams just goes out and gets it, sneaks it past Alejandre playing the hot corner. Look how she just threads the needle past Alejandre in the third base bag.
She may have the longest single and the hardest hit single that we will see at the World Series this year. 2 for 2 on just 3 pitches, and she's a threat to run. 21 of 23 as a base stealer this year, though Alexis Ramirez is very tough to run on. Maya Davis. Ground ball through the left side. Pass to drawn in Alejandre. Base hit for Davis. She is 2 for 2, having seen 3 pitches. And this Texas Tech top of the order is swinging freely and fiercely.
Yeah, look at Mia Davis just. Actually, this is going to be Mia Williams out and around this drop ball, but this is what I'm talking about. This is why Florida in the Super Regional pitched her inside. Both of the hits that Williams has had in this game have been on outside pitches that she has crushed. She has so much power in the outer half. You have to be so careful with these Texas Tech hitters because they can cover the plate so well. The ball flies off their bat with a high exit velocity.
Highest batting average for Texas Tech, 380. Third highest scoring team in the country. Lauren Allred takes one off the plate, and it's 2-0. Like UCLA's lineup, there is no let up here. There are 9 really strong hitters for both teams. And in Jerry Glasgow, you have one of the great teachers of hitters, one of the great developers of hitters And they can hit for power and they can run. The only team you saw there in D1 history to go 110 homers and steals. (3-0) for Allred. Very patient hitter. Takes a 3-0 changeup. Texas Tech already has 7 hits. They're 7 for 11. And that's an Allred walk. Mike Burwell says no swing. So home run by Burns. Tinsley got the next 2 out. And then single walk. Load the bases for Jackie Liss. Jackie Liss, after 3 record-setting years at Southern Illinois, transferred to Texas Tech. Said she wanted to play her final year with Nyjah Kennedy, wanted to get to the World Series. She takes strike 1. Kid who said her goal is to take 500 swings a day. Comes in here 13th in the country in RBIs. Knocked in 74.
I feel like Liss has been one of those players in her career that just has completely flown under the radar, just has been underrated, has gotten hot as of late, and every year of her career she's had more walks than strikeouts.
A 3rd-team All-American, ready for a bases-loaded 1-1. Did not get the changeup. Little inside, it's 2-1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
A 27-pitch inning for Tinsley. Good speed around. Williams, Davis, and Allred. 3rd to 1st. 3-1 to Liss. It's only a tie game. It's only the 2nd, but this feels like an enormous pitch for Tinsley. And it's ball 4 to walk in a run. 4 straight 2-out base runners. Texas Tech takes the lead right back.
Jackie Liss has just been so patient, understanding the situation, the moment that Taylor Tinsley is having difficulty locating pitches through the strike zone. That's why she went through her changeup. That's been the pitch that she's been able to locate for a strike. And Texas Tech really hasn't been chasing that pitch. They don't look like they want 55, 56 miles an hour. They are looking for something more firm out over the heart of the plate and just kind of ignoring Taylor Tinsley's changeup.
Lisa Fernandez, who has a very close relationship with Taylor Tinsley, back to the circle. Jerry Glasgow brings his entire team over as well. The top 4 hitters in the lineup have now reached base 7 out of 8 times. And throw in the Taylor Panel single. She's batting now 8 of 9 times on base for Texas Tech's top 5. It's a 7-1 hit column. Only a 1-run game, and here's Panel, who can really explode this 2nd inning. An infield hit for Panel her first time. 2 for 8 at the World Series. A great career postseason performer. Takes ball 2. Taylor Tinsley has walked 4 batters with the bases loaded this season, has not allowed a grand slam. Got a strike with a changeup.
Just trying to figure out, I think, what she can locate on the corners for a strike. Texas Tech is having quality at bats, showing a lot of patience. They know exactly what they're looking for, and they're not swinging until they get it.
This will be the 33rd pitch of this marathon inning. Inside, ball 3.
It seems like she's going to have to come with that changeup again. It's the only pitch that she's thrown for a strike, and a couple of batters now.
None of the last 3 batters for Tech have even swung the bat at this point. And Panel will take strike 2.
That was middle, good pitch to hit, but you could tell it looked like Panel just full take, trying to make Tinsley find the zone.
Since the Davis hit, they've taken 15 consecutive pitches from Tinsley. 11 have been balls. Bases loaded, 2 down. Start the merry-go-round on 3-2. Panel knocks it foul. Little extra velocity for Tinsley there, up to 68. Seventh pitch of the at-bat, 36th of the inning coming. A 2-run inning for Texas Tech. Thirsty for more. Ground ball towards short. Garcia's got it on the way to first. Texas Tech has stranded 5, but they have scored 3, and they tied it right from the get-go with Jazzy Burns.
Her first to the Women's College World Series. Jazzy Burns, get in. It's in on this home run action. Back and forth, a punching match. This is how it's going to be all game long. Jazzy Burns, have yourself a swing.
Nigel Kennedy burst onto the scene, leading Stanford to the World Series in 23, the National Freshman of the Year. The year after that, the USA Softball Player of the Year, a 2-time National Pitcher of the Year, and 10 complete games in her historic World Series career. One of the great careers for any collegiate softball pitcher. 4 World Series, 2 teams took Texas Tech to within a win of the championship series, and of course last year signed the first $1 million NIL contract in softball history. Into the portal after 2 years at Stanford. Has done her best to embrace the historic deal and the historic pressure that she's faced, and has done just about everything, Amanda, you can do as a collegiate softball player except take home a national title.
And Nigel Kennedy is iconic. And we have followed her since she was just a baby freshman at Stanford, leading then to the Women's College World Series, and watched her grow up and get the first contract, get the second contract to stay at Texas Tech.
Kanaya Bragg waits back on her changeup and knocks it into left field. Second hit for UCLA.
But when you watch Nyjah Kennedy pitch, especially as a freshman, when not very many people knew about her and she came onto the stage for the first time, she just captivated fans. She captivated us because of this energy and this big rise ball and how dominant she was. The difference of how she pitches versus when she was a freshman at Stanford is this development of her changeup that actually just got hit by Bragg. But that changeup has helped her career ERA stay just over 1.
And a strike to Alexis Ramirez. Kennedy led the nation in ERA in back-to-back seasons. A 3-time All-American, a 4-time first-team All-Conference player. 3 straight years she's been her league's pitcher of the year, or at least this season the co-pitcher of the year in the Big 12 with Oklahoma State's Ruby Malin. Fly ball to left from Ramirez, got a little under it. And her former battery mate, Caitlin Terry, out in left field, makes the catch.
You know, you mentioned it though, the pressures and the expectations that come when you are Nyjah Kennedy. Like, it's been inspiring to watch her navigate her decisions, the big games, the pressures, and everything that came with her contract. I mean, there's enough pressure as it is when you are not making a dime and you step onto this field. And the fact that she has been here 4 times and continues to deliver with all the other outside noise really says a lot about who she is, her mindset, just the overall type of person that she is, not just the pitcher she is.
0-2 ahead of the UCLA designated player Sujin Berry. We saw during Super Regionals in a very emotionally charged series between Tech and Florida, a little bit more emotional side of Nyjah too. Some of the reactions she had after strikeouts and big outs that series felt like a little more of a release than we've seen in the past. Pitcher who will be going to the AUSL was the 2nd overall pick for the Texas Volts, but her college career is winding down. Strikes out Berry, 71 down and in, and a 2nd K for Kennedy.
It's a good height for this pitch. Screwball in the outside corner, moves away from Berry. Pitch that curveball and screwball, so a little bit more east and west Nyjah has been throwing in the NCAA tournament, and she's given up some runs, right? In regionals and super regionals, she's been better here. But when you look at, oh, that almost was a great catch. It went off of her glove, and she's so bummed. I'll give it back to her. No, it's gonna stay on the field. But when you look at what has been hit off of Nyjah Kennedy in regionals and supers, and has given up quite a few home runs for her standards. She's given up 6 home runs in the NCAA tournament, actually make it 7 with the one that she gave up today. It's her rise ball that hitters are really keying in on. She's not getting as many swings and misses with that pitch overall as what we're used to seeing, and her changeup has still been effective, but look at her postseason this year compared to the other years.
Tara Archibald, the Texas Tech pitching coach, is going to come out after that last pitch. 1-1 count on the 9-hitter, Jolina Lamar. Well, these teams are trying to make it to the Women's College World Series Championship Finals, which begin in 3 days. Wednesday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your home for all NCAA championships. These teams are 3 wins away from the Champ Series. The winner of tonight's game will play Alabama, 7 Eastern, 6 Central tomorrow night. They will need to beat Alabama twice. Alabama, the 2-0 team, beating UCLA, and Nebraska will need just 1 win to make it to the Champ Series. Good visit, apparently. Nice rise ball there, in on the hands of Lamar, 1-2.
Nyjah pitched them to the finals last year, of course, with not a lot of offense, so much pressure, talking about pressure put on her. And this year, I mean, this team, this Texas Tech team was put together with a national championship or bust mindset. Now finding themselves in an elimination game and going to do everything that they can to fight, claw, and scratch, just like UCLA is, to keep their season going. But At the beginning of the year, even really in the off season, this team is national championship mindset. It's why they're put together to win it all.
Quite literally, in the NIL world, there is a ton invested in this team. They added Williams, they added List, they added Panel, they added Terry, Burns, and Quiroga. Desiree Spearman not playing today, a high-profile transfer. Just doesn't get the call there on a pretty good-looking changeup. And Marty Abizishan not happy about what Jerry Glasgow had to say. A pitch that Jerry certainly thought was at the knees.
Thought that should have been a strike and caught the bottom of the zone.
Looks like Marty may have given a warning, the plate umpire.
He was asking if that pitch was out because he felt like the height of it was okay. That certainly had to have missed off the plate one way or the other.
And not to compare just pitch to pitch, but the changeup we saw Taylor Tinsley get, Jackie Lisson in the first inning, certainly looked lower than that last one. Keeps Lamar alive on a 2-2. Bragg at first with 2 outs in the second. 3-2 Texas Tech. And that changeup is strike 3. If at first you don't get the call, try again.
I love it. Going right back to it. Okay, you didn't call that one. That one was a little bit too low for you. So how about this one? I'll bring it up for you, a ball. She has such good command, belief in that pitch. On the biggest stage, she knows she can nail it. And there's the Nyjah stomp.
Expect this face in the circle for UCLA the last couple of years. Caitlin Terry, 5 starts as a Bruin at the World Series, a .282 ERA. Often started and had Taylor Tinsley finish in a 1-2 punch that led UCLA to the World Series the last couple of years. 41-8, .250 ERA. Pac-12 Freshman of the Year at UCLA, but went into the portal after the season. One of the big names in the portal. It ends up like a lot of these transfers at Texas Tech. And flips his first pitch from Tinsley out into left field. 1 pitch for Tinsley in the third and 1 out. As fate would have it, Texas Tech and some of their players keep rolling into old friends here in the postseason. They went to Florida in the Super Regionals. Mia Williams, a Gator the first 2 years. Mia had a big series and they beat them. Yesterday, faced Taylor Panel's old team in Tennessee. Taylor scored the tying run, but the Vols knocked Texas Tech down into this elimination game. And Terry is 0 for 2 here against her old Bruin teammates. Strike one to Jazzy Burns, who's homered. I was going to ask you, the at-bat's over, but I'll ask you anyway. How would you imagine this matchup would go of a team that has seen Caitlin Terry for a couple of years and probably knows how to pitch her versus a pitcher in Terry who's probably very aware of how Taylor Tinsley likes to pitch?
A lot of information flowing in the dugout, that's for sure. All about Tinsley when Caitlin Terry is probably going in. This is what she likes to throw. This is what I know is her favorite pitch. This is what we talked about in the bullpen, her go-to pitch. I mean, there's just so much connection that happens in a bullpen when you're on a pitching staff, and information that's shared that you would never share with another team about your fellow pitching mates, but you get to know them so well. So I think edge goes to Caitlin Terry to relay that information to the rest of these Texas Tech hitters about Tinsley.
That's a critical point. She may be 0 for 2, but who better to give you a Taylor Tinsley scouting report than Caitlin Terry?
Well, there's so much information on a senior like Taylor Tinsley anyway. There really are no secrets, but when you're Caitlin Terry and you've had that closeness with somebody like Tinsley, then you know even a little bit more than what the scouting reports provide.
A swing and a miss on a changeup. 3 strikeouts have all been on the change for Tinsley.
Getting a chase with this one too. She's able to throw this pitch at multiple different levels through the strike zone and then pop it in right there in the dirt. A lot of confidence in her catcher, Lefty Ramirez, back behind the plate to throw that pitch in the dirt, and she can just smother it and get the tag out. But Taylor Tinsley and Nyjah Kennedy have settled into this game.
Tinsley looking for her first scoreless inning against the catcher, Quiroga. A transfer from Cal to take strike one. Quiroga was away from the team for personal reasons. Didn't play between March 27th and May 15th, returning right in time for the postseason. And her bat's been a little bit slower to return, 2 for 13, though she does have 5 walks. And the 2 hits are extra base hits in the tournament. And another player who's seen UCLA a couple of years ago, of course. Cal and UCLA were in the Pac-12. Missing all of April. Jazzy Burns caught some, as did Victoria Valdez. 3 catchers who rotate on this team. Everything pretty much is a rotation on this team. They have a few players who are regular starters at their positions, but Texas Tech this year has had more than 50 batting orders and 40 different defensive lineups. Been a constant shuffling of the deck for Jerry Glasgow. I don't know how much Jerry Glasgow's maneuvered around this year. That tells you 58 batting orders in now 67 games, 44 fielding lineups, and they've had 8 different number 3 hitters this year. Normally you find a number 3 hitter and maybe you make a change early or stick with it. He said most of the players who actually hit have batted third at one time or another. Strike 3 called, and Tinsley bounces back with a 1-2-3 inning. Good reminder that the pitchers are pretty good here too. But here come the big bats for UCLA. 3 All-Americans, Slim, Grant, and Woolery. They've all homered here in Oklahoma City. electric start on this Elimination Sunday as Texas Tech and UCLA have traded haymakers to and over the wall. Jordan Woolery with a 2-run blast for the Bruins. Jazzy Burns answered back for Texas Tech. The first ever meeting of two teams that have scored 600 runs in the same season. 2 of the 4 highest scoring single seasons in Division I softball history. And a 3-2 edge for the Red Raiders here on the Oklahoma dirt. Kevin Brown and Amanda Scarborough in the booth. Alyssa Lang downstairs, and our fantastic ESPN crew with you. The winner of this game plays Alabama tomorrow night at 6 local, 7 Eastern. The losing team is eliminated. Some of the great seniors and players of this era will see their careers end tonight. Nyjah Kennedy, one of those seniors, facing the sophomore Riley Slimp. And Slimp elevates the ball to left. It gets by the former Bruin, Terry. Slimp to second base, and she'll hold there. A misplay by Terry in left field turns into a Slimp double.
Yeah, misplayed ball by Terry, just a tough one. You see how that line drive off the bat just drops down like a drop ball. Just misplayed, doesn't keep it in front, didn't get a good read off of it. All around tough break for Terry out in left field, and Riley Slimp is going to go ahead and make her way to second base, and Terry is going to come out of this game.
Logan Halliman will go into play left field. You see Caitlin run into the dugout, and the way this team goes, you wonder, is she coming into the dugout and going out to pitch? And the answer is she'll go out to the bullpen.
Yeah, it may have been a reminder that maybe Jerry Glasgow meant to do that before the inning
right.
started, and then the ball goes out to Terry, and he's like, I forgot to pull her to go warm up in the bullpen. This is pitcher, hitter, defender type things that happen. You know, this is how it goes sometimes.
That would be a big mistake if indeed he did intend to do that. We don't know if it was reactionary. But get ready here for the constant lineup shuffling for Texas Tech. So Halliman comes into play left. The Red Raiders also have a new catcher in this inning. Quiroga struck out to end the 3rd inning. And Texas Tech has Victoria Valdez back there. They really like the chemistry between Nyjah Kennedy and Valdez, who was her primary catcher last season. So Megan Grant is the batter. And here we go again for the single season home run leader. Hit by a pitch her first time. Grant ropes it foul, and it's 0-2. In elimination games in Megan Grant's career. Pretty darn good on this stage. Only strikeout 2 years ago against Nyjah.
It seems like her and Tara Archibald, the pitching coach for Texas Tech, and Nyjah Kennedy have had a game plan to not be scared to go inside to Megan Grant. Saw it in her first at-bat and also in this at-bat.
Nyjah Kennedy does not go inside the left-handers often. 0-2 to Grant. The 42 home run hitter is down and in.
But you think about the familiarity between Nyjah Kennedy and this UCLA team, just trying to give them a different look maybe than what they have seen off of her in the past to go inside to these lefties.
1-2. Swing and a miss. She strikes out the Titanic Grant. Only the 13th time all season Grant has struck out.
Look at how this changeup just floats in here and how fooled Megan Grant is. Way out in front, thinking that that is 70, 72 miles an hour on the outside corner, but Nyjah pulls the string for the strikeout.
Now the home run hitter, Woolery. Jordan Woolery homered on an 0-2 rise ball. Laura Espinoza, who had the home run record, still has the RBI record at 128. Woolery's up to 114. And this season, opponents are hitting .091 with 2 strikes against Nyjah. In an 0-2 count, Woolery elevated for her 35th homer.
See, she's getting a lot of down, a lot of changeup, even though that was up in the count. Again, off that rise ball, she still throws the changeup, but it's up in the zone, and she takes it.
Green light, 3-0.
Yeah.
You were right. And Nyjah knew it,
I mean,
and so did Texas Tech.
When you're smiling like that and feeling that good in the box and what could be your last game, this senior and her career that she's had, how clutch she's been, I think you just let her swing at whatever she wants to.
And another changeup. Top of the zone this time. It's 3-2. Kennedy trying to get in Woolery's head here.
Go back to it again.
A payoff pitch. Outside ball 4. How about that vicious Woolery roar? And the smile returns to her face as the Bruins get 2 on their first walk of the game.
That was a great at bat. After how Nyjah Kennedy was feeling that changeup, I would have gone right back to it. Instead, she goes with the curve. It curves off the plate, and Woolery is just as fired up as when she hit the home run in the first.
A big hug for her former teammate Savvy Pola, the Bruin first base coach. Tara Archibald's out for the second time to talk to Kennedy. ESPN is the home of MLB.TV. Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions apply. For more information, go to ESPN.com/MLB.TV. Well, the top 3 hitters for the Bruins have reached base 4 out of 6 times. The 4 through 9 hitters were just 1 for 6 against Kennedy first time through. And Alina Garcia takes a pitch up and in.
Get that off the bat.
Marty Abizishin is asking Matt Dial at second if he had that off the bat or off the batter, and it's called a hit by pitch to load him up for Brie Alejandre.
That sounded like that to me when we watched it live, but if it is off of her arm, yeah. Hard to tell, trying to go up and in. That sound was so loud as if it was off the knob with the bat. Garcia also took it like a champ.
Bases loaded for Alejandre, the freshman phenom, and she is hit as well. Back-to-back pitches. Kennedy hits Garcia and Alejandre to force in a run. She's hit 3 Bruins in the game, and she may be out of this game. Caitlin Terry, just before the last pitch, returned from the bullpen, and she's getting ready to enter the circle. Just the 3rd time in Nyjah's career she has hit 3 batters in the same game. She does so in just 2 1/3 innings. And the former UCLA Bruin, Caitlin Terry, will try to rescue this mess. Kennedy out in an elimination game. UCLA's record 34th appearance at the World Series. This fan thinks that matters compared to Texas Tech's second. Tradition over trending. some unusual Bruin magic here. Caitlin Terry, who's been on the other side of Bruin magic, is on to face her old team in a 3-3 third inning tie with the bases loaded in a World Series elimination game.
No pressure, right?
No pressure at all.
Bringing the lefty in, she has had a heck of a year in the circle and as well at the plate, contributing like we already talked about with the power that she has come up with at the plate. But a sub-2 ERA, 24 wins, and has been a great compliment to Nyjah Kennedy to take a load off of her this season.
Bases loaded for Kenaya Bragg. By the way, that was one of the great recent Bruins. Aaliyah Jordan holding that sign, who knows a thing or two about tradition. Bragg, a base hit against Kennedy, her first time. 3 on, 1 out. Strike 2 from Terry. Nyjah Kennedy can re-enter this game, but that is the line at the moment. The first time in her 4-year career she's hit back-to-back batters. 0-2 from Terry to Bragg.
And Terry's going to come with some good velocity, of course. Give a different look because she's coming from the left-hand side. Great arm speed whenever she works through her pitch. She'll have a rise, curve, drop, and changeup that she will work in ever so slightly. Not going to throw it a ton.
UCLA, a nation-leading 15 grand slams. Bragg just trying to fight her way back here, though, on 0-2. And she strikes out swinging. A Terry takedown to hold the bases loaded on out number 2.
She just goes out and attacks Bragg. She finds the strike zone early. She finds it often, strikes her out with this screwball. She can really move the ball around, Terry can. A lot of different tools that she can go to at any given time.
Alexis Ramirez. Remember, UCLA loves to have Ramirez call pitches. So Ramirez has called a lot of Caitlin Terry's pitches.
Painting the corner to these righties with her screwball, just snapping that pitch off. And for a smaller statured pitcher, Caitlin Terry can still bring it at 70 miles an hour.
1-1, the former battery mates in a bases loaded spot. Ramirez falls behind, strike 2. Alexis Ramirez often tried to think the game when Caitlin Terry was pitching. Now she's got to think, what would I ask for Caitlin to throw right now? And what is this new version of Caitlin Terry going to throw me? 3 runners on via 3 passes. A run across in the inning. The 1-2 pitch. Ramirez to center field. Hit it high. Not deep enough. Davis is there. Terry gets out of a bases loaded jam. The game tied again, but the former Bruin makes sure it goes no further.
Welcome back to the NCAA Women's College World Series presented by Capital One. Here with Texas Tech head coach Jerry Glasgow. Coach, you make the pitching change in that last inning. What do you need from Caitlin to finish it out for you?
Outs. Need outs. We just need to throw strikes, trust our defense, and just go at them.
Your bats were hot early. What's the key to continuing that?
Be aggressive on strikes. You know, we just get good pitches and be aggressive. We're ready. We really had a great BP this morning, another great BP this afternoon. I think I had the machines dialed in right. We just got to pick out the right pitches and be aggressive.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
For Jerry Glasgow, they go everywhere. Couple of different BPs against Caitlin Terry, who got off to a tough start in this game. 0 for 2, a miscue in left, but certainly redeemed herself with 2 big bases loaded outs in relief of Nyjah Kennedy. Top of the lineup, Williams and Davis have seen a combined 6 pitches. They're 4 for 4. They're due up after Haley Toney, and Caitlin knows where the camera is. Jerry Glasgow said it's unbelievable how much these players care about each other. Said it's one of the closest teams he's ever had. Trying to dispel what the softball world thinks of Texas Tech and, you know, the quote-unquote villain status that they've gotten with all these transfers. Players have talked about how close they've become, particularly in the postseason. Haley Toney with a ground ball. That will get through for a leadoff base hit.
And Kevin, that's often the question, no matter the sport, right? When you have a lot of new faces, how are they going to gel together, especially a lot of superstars? Well, Caitlin Terry said this week, the way this team came together is just insane. It's what makes us so dangerous. She said, we have unbelievable chemistry on and off the field, and we really take playing for each other seriously.
And Mia Williams, one of those transfers, is hit. Now, dangerous things usually happen to Texas Tech's opponents after Mia Williams gets hit. And it's first and second. Nobody out on 2 pitches here with Maya Davis coming up, and Jerry Glasgow is going to bring him over. Mia has been a magnet in the postseason. She got hit 5 times at Florida, and she's now been hit twice at the World Series.
Well, both of her hits have come on outside pitches, and it's like if you go away from Mia Williams, you need to go like 2 balls off the plate away, and if you go in, you have to go hard in. She has so much power. She's very difficult to pitch to, and she's really started to hit the inner half better this year than what we saw her hit at Florida when she was there for 2 seasons. A home run hitter there, but a more well-rounded hitter, I would say, to be able to hit different types of pitches in different parts of the plate than her first 2 years as a Gator.
First 61 games hit by a pitch just 4 times. Her last 7 hit 7. So 2 on, nobody out for Maya Davis. Davis has the most hits of any active Division I player, 351. Here she'll show a bunt. This doesn't happen a whole heck of a lot. In fact, Davis does not have a sacrifice bunt this season, and Texas Tech only has 11. Corners are way in. Davis swinging away, ground ball to Bragg at second. Felt like the only play she could make with the infield drawn in was at first, so it's not a sac bunt, but it works as one. Toney to third, Williams to second, 1 away.
Especially with speed at the plate, speed on the bases, really only one option, as you mentioned on that play, just to get it out any way she could. Take the easy out.
Lauren Allred, an infield single and an RBI, a little dribbler and a walk in the game. Moved up to the 3 spot today. Allred leans back on one to left. Slip makes a catch in foul ground. But that will score Toney on a sac fly. It's 4-3. Texas Tech. Not the most memorable sac fly of Lauren Allred's World Series career. She had the game winner against Oklahoma last year to send them to the Champ Series, but a go-ahead one in an elimination game. A second RBI of the game for Allred. And here is Jackie Liss. Strikeout and a bases loaded walk for Liss. Texas Tech yesterday had 10 base runners in 9 innings. In the game against Tennessee, they have 11 base runners, and they're not yet through the 4th this evening.
Jackie Liss is not going to be an easy out with a runner in scoring position. Even with 2 strikes, she hardly ever strikes out. Good 2-strike hitter, sees pitches deep, and you look at her, reminds me of Brooke Wells at Alabama. Does not have a stride, really short to the ball, allows those pitches to work themselves deep.
The strikeout in the first was only her 12th of the year to 43 walks. Team leading .548 on base percentage for Liss. 3rd-team All-American who led the Big 12 in on base percentage this year and is hitting .414 with 2 strikes, but she has just struck out for a 2nd time. Been some blue moon events in this game.
It's a good spot of a pitch by Tinsley going up against Liss. Look at this drop ball, paint the outside corner. That drop ball, a pitch that Tinsley has worked so hard on towards the end of her career.
Welcome back to Oklahoma City. Texas Tech with a 4-3 lead right now over UCLA, joined by head coach Kelly Inouye-Perez. Coach, what do you make of the start from Taylor Tinsley, knowing how much work she has to do today?
The fact that I started her?
What do you make of the way she started this game?
Oh, well, I mean, we're here to compete. We're just going to play an inning, wipe it, play an inning, wipe it. We said we're going to throw punches down to the last one. I told the team, we're home team, so we're going to get the last one today.
What's the biggest difference with Caitlin Terry out in the circle, a name you know very well?
I'm really going to focus on how our quality at bats, like our goal is to touch first base. And if we put ourselves in a position to get good pitches, you know, we don't want to stretch the strike zone. We're really going to focus on having quality at bats, and we're a contagious offense. We've got to start catching fire, but it starts by getting somebody on first base.
Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely, thanks.
All right, a former Bruin there, but Kelly Inouye-Perez thinking about the Bruin bubble. What do we need to do well, whether it's a former teammate or not? Top 3 hitters have been productive today. Slimp with a double, Woolery with a walk and a 2-run homer. Rest of the team, not so much. And Tinsley has struck out 5, allowed 4 runs in 4 innings. Caitlin Terry is going to face 8, 9, and 1 here. Sujin Berry as Terry misses low to Barrett.
And Coach Inouye Perez had said that in the post-game presser after the Arkansas game, that we are a contagious hitting team. She felt like in that game where they scored 11 runs, they were loose, they were disciplined, and love the experience that the young players on this team are getting. I think that you lose sight because we talk so much about Grant, Woolery, and Tinsley, but this is a young UCLA team, and she loves that the young Bruins are experiencing this Women's College World Series for the first time, and really feels like it's a strength of their program that freshmen come in and play right away. We've seen that year after year at UCLA. They recruit very well. They get freshmen to come in that are big-time difference makers and ready for the big stage.
61 of those record-setting home runs, now 207, have come from freshmen. 2-2 for Berry. This is a young team. Grant and Woolery are the only two seniors in the UCLA lineup. So they could have a pretty amazing group of players returning next year. Terry with another strikeout. 3 up, 3 down with 2 Ks out of the bullpen.
Really like the way that she's attacking the strike zone. Goes to a backdoor curveball here, lefty on lefty matchup, and look at how this curveball actually ends up looking at it right over the heart of the plate, but it starts at Berry's hip, crosses across the middle of the plate, and gets a swing and a miss through that backdoor action.
Jolena Lamar, freshman homer the other night. Both Terry and Kennedy have pitched all 3 games here. The days of Nyjah Kennedy being the one and only workhorse ended this year. Kennedy had a stretch between the end of 2023 and the end of last season's Champ Series where she threw 9 complete games in a row for her teams. And it was very important for Jerry Glasgow this year to get another pitcher to help take the load off of Nyjah. In that stretch, she threw 997 consecutive pitches for her teams between 2023 with Stanford and 2025 last year. 1 inning, 5 runs in the decisive Game 3 against Texas. She was taken out. Much different this year with Terry, who statistically has actually been a better pitcher. Now, fewer innings, but a 1.67 ERA, a little bit better than Kennedy's 1.74, and she has been a little more effective in the postseason. That's a big drop for Nyjah Kennedy. 69 fewer innings compared to last year.
When going through Big 12 play, it was kind of looking like, with the way that Terry was performing in conference, that she was going to be a candidate for Big 12 Player of the Year. Being able to pitch it, being able to swing it, and especially because the 10 home runs that she's hit, that power started to come on within Big 12 play. She was a slow start with her home run hitting self, was hitting for a high average, and then added that power, that pop. But that's just how fantastic that Caitlin Terry has been, and how big of an addition that she has been to Texas Tech, to be able to take some pressure off of Nyjah Kennedy and not have to pitch as many games. Now, at the same time, I do wonder if you're Nyjah Kennedy, who's used to taking such a big load, how does that affect you? Sure, it's great to have some help, but there's something to being a pitcher, wanting the ball, wanting to pitch all these innings and all the big games throughout the year.
7th pitch to Lamar, and down she goes. Terry is throwing smoke.
This rise ball is, again, so well located up and in on the hands of Jolena Lamar. Pops out of Valdez's glove, and then she catches it again, barely. It's a swing and miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Terry, and now 3 since she's come in relief.
And now gets the top of the order. A couple of powerful lefties. Lily Slimp homered against Jocelyn Brisky on Thursday night. Doubled past Terry, who was in left in the 3rd. Boy, it feels a lot harder right now. And the velocities are already hard for Terry. But with that whip, that force, she has come in and taken over this game, striking out 3 of 4. And that's what her old head coach who's currently in the other dugout. Kelly Inouye Perez talked about in the past, how much she loved Caitlin Terry's fire, her power, her passion. Ball's behind, 3-1. In fact, she told us at the World Series last year, Kelly, that Caitlin Terry reminded her a lot of Rachel Garcia, how unfazed Rachel would get in the circle. Slip with a high drive on 3-1. And this is a 1-2-3-4 for Caitlin Terry. A shutdown inning, maintaining the Texas Tech lead into the 5th.
Jacks one deep, way back. Katie Stewart sends it out for Texas, and she'll touch them all.
One of the many big swings of the World Series so far. The swing that effectively sends second-seeded and defending champ Texas to the double elimination semifinals. They'll have to eliminate Tennessee by beating them twice. The Lady Vols need just one win. Noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central tomorrow on ESPN. Was an amazing game earlier today. Nebraska's Jordy Fromm in her final college game threw a no-hitter through 5 1/3 innings, 5 outs away. The freshman J.C. Nichols in the 9th spot broke it up with a knock. As Taylor Panel grounds the ball to Alina Garcia. Panel is 1 for 3. Caden Henry follow with a hit, and as you heard Beth Mowens on the call there, Katie Stewart, the SEC Player of the Year, took Fromm deep, her 28th home run, a Texas single season record. And the Longhorns, Amanda, have already won twice when facing elimination at the World Series. They won twice in the Super Regionals when facing elimination. They beat Texas Tech in the Champ Series a year ago. And you think they have the horses to take down Tennessee twice tomorrow?
I think that they have the experience and the mindset, and they seem to play best when their backs are up against the walls. So Lali Gutierrez, of course, pitched well in the Super Regional. She's going to have to be a force alongside Tegan Kavan tomorrow if they want to play too. And a deep Tennessee pitching staff as well. So it's going to be electric tomorrow.
Last year, Texas ended Tennessee's season in the semis. This year, Tennessee beat Texas in the opening round to knock them into the losers bracket. A well-versed matchup. Caitlin Terry, who is currently the leading pitcher, fouls one away from Taylor Tinsley.
When we talked about her stance change from UCLA compared to what she's doing at Texas Tech, I mean, look at the difference. Square to the plate, her hands are different, completely wide open. Jerry Glasgow thought that she had the potential to hit for some extra home runs in what she did at UCLA. She said that, or he had said that she hit home runs in high school and started out hitting for Texas Tech and just was not very powerful, not very aggressive. And he said to her, why every day at BP do I watch this home run hitter, and then when the game starts I watch bloop singles and more of a punch and go type hitter? He wanted her to use her legs more, to coil her hips and drive her legs. That's what he tells her whenever they talk at practice or talk in games, and that has gotten her to hit more home runs.
Dangerous count here for Tinsley. 3-1. No swing by Terry, and that'll be a walk. So Caitlin Terry is aboard for the first time. School record 37 game on base streak this year. She is aboard with a 2-out walk, or a 1-out walk, beg your pardon, for the home run hitter for the second, Jazzy Burns.
Well, just to put a bow on what Jerry Glasgow thinks of Caitlin Terry, he thinks that she can hit 20 home runs next year. That's the type of power that is in that smaller stature, and with his help and leg drive that she can provide with his coaching, thinks that she can do it.
Strike one to Burns. Player who did hit 20 home runs a year ago, 25 of them to be exact, and is at 18 this season after her second inning shot, her first hit at the World Series. 85 pitches now for Taylor Tinsley. If UCLA comes back to win, we know their plan. Taylor Tinsley, as long as he can possibly go. It's a pretty high pitch count for 4 1/3 today. But of course, they are a long ways away from being worried at all about tomorrow. The winner of this game will face Alabama tomorrow night. Texas Tech trying to knock UCLA out of the World Series after beating them to hand them their first loss last year. That game, Tinsley, 7 innings, 4 hits, a walk, 3 runs, and 2 strikeouts. Tonight she struck out 5, but 8 hits, 4 runs, and 3 walks against obviously a much more powerful offense. One on, 1 out for Burns. He takes ball 3 and is in a full count. Already the 7th 3-ball count for Tinsley. Terry, the runner at first on 3-2. Powered foul. Look out, Alyssa. All good? Is the guy next to you good? I think he took a ricochet there. One of the cameramen down there. Yeah, I think he's got a little bit of a bruise. I hope he's okay. We're going to have to get Dr. Lang on the spot. Fouled away again.
Jazzy Burns, of course, hit that home run, and the second, her first home run that she's hit at the World Series, and striking out a little bit here. 4 strikeouts at the World Series for Burns, who is a home run hitter, but able to hit a rise ball deep.
Struck out on a changeup. Powers another one on play. Good catch by a happy Texas fan. If anybody is looking at their phones in the ballpark at this point, you're in for it. The way Jazzy Burns is blistering pitches into the seats and camera wells. Pitch number 9 coming. 4-3 Tech in this elimination game. That might be a fair ball. Into the right field corner. Grant's got it up against the wall. Terry takes second as Burns just missed a 2-homer game.
Well, and the wind is blowing a little bit toward left field. I think it knocked it down just a little bit. Here late at the park, we don't see as much wind, but it is blowing more toward the left side. That looked like it had the distance to potentially get out of here. That little bit of wind, it hung up there, and I think knocked it down a little bit.
Victoria Valdez. First pitch swinging into left center field. Who's going to get it? Oh, it's Slimp. Another outfield collision. We've had several of those here at the World Series, and Slimp hangs on for dear life in a scoreless 5th. It's a 1-run game with a best 1-2 punch in a single season in college softball history. Coming up, Grant and Woolery. In a history of Division I softball, there has never been a duo with 76 combined home runs in a season until Megan Grant and Jordan Woolery, playing each in their 243rd game, all at UCLA. Both All-Americans, both first-team All-Americans in back-to-back years, committed to UCLA way back in 8th grade. They have been as close as can be since they were 12 years old. And you may be looking at the final at-bats, depending on how this game goes, for this historic All-American duo, Grant and Woolery. They need to win this game to extend their careers, and they need to solve their former teammate, Caitlin Terry.
Remember, they told us there was a time their sophomore years where Kelly Inouye Perez made the mistake of not putting them back-to-back in the lineup. They went 2 for 8 and made sure that their coach knew about it the next day, saying the vibe was just off. So we had to go and talk to Coach I about it.
Well, Grant has already struck out once in the game, only her 13th strikeout of the year. That was against Kennedy. She is in an 0-2 hole here against Terry. Perfect in an inning and 2/3. And Grant sends a high fly ball to left field, shy of the warning track. The new left fielder is Michaela Garcia, and she retires Grant. 0 for 2 in the game and hit by a pitch. UCLA will need another base runner to make sure Grant gets another at-bat. And Jordan Willery gives a point as if to say, I got your back. She had her back after Megan was hit in the first inning with a 2-run home run. She walked the next time up. Terry and Willery, a couple of All-Americans.
Her home run was off of Nyjah Kennedy on an 0-2 rise ball that she just went up and got it back in the first inning. Followed up a hit-by-pitch to Megan Grant, her best friend, and then a 2-run home run for Willery with a ton of emotion.
Ground ball down to third base. Panel backs up. Panel throws her out. Caitlin Terry looks like she's hardly breaking a sweat. She gets Grant and Willery on just 5 pitches to kick off the 5th.
I really feel like an outing like what Caitlin Terry has come into against her former team and the situation that she came in on. She came in with the bases loaded and just 1 out, and she just has not looked fazed by the moment at all. And a bulldog in the circle, several strikeouts, finding both sides of the plate. She's been hit around a little bit, and so has Nyjah Kennedy in the NCAA tournament, but you would never know it with the mindset that Caitlin Terry has entered in relief.
1-on-1 to Alina Garcia, who's got 5 home runs in now 8 games in the NCAA tournament. The redshirt freshman Garcia against the junior Terry in a 1-run game in the 5th. In on her hands at strike 2.
She just continues to throw with good velocity too. Thinking maybe she was just amped up when she entered into relief, Caitlin Terry, but she's throwing 69, 70 miles an hour, not scared to go in on these right-handed hitters' hands, but then also spin her screw ball away from them.
Looking for another perfect inning. Pitcher who came into UCLA as a rise ball pitcher, developed a drop ball with Rob Schweier, the UCLA pitching coach. Lisa Fernandez helped her a lot with that as well. Garcia spoils a 2-2.
And there have been some mistakes that Caitlin Terry has thrown out over the heart of the plate. Like that last pitch was pretty middle. But I think because she's mixing so well and these UCLA hitters are just a little bit behind, they're missing those pitches, not taking advantage of them.
The 6th pitch to Garcia. Just off the corner in ball 3. Garcia missed the World Series last year, an early season injury. 22 homers this year. Hard to strike out, slugging over 800. And Victoria Valdez calls for a timeout. A payoff pitch to Garcia. First team all Big Ten hitter. She's reached base now 28 games in a row. Trying to extend this inning and be the first base runner against Terry. She will not. Caitlin Terry owns the circle. And right now, she owns Oklahoma City.
Doesn't look like she is feeling any nerves at all. Elimination game. The hitters that she's facing that are the best in the country, and the way that she is going at them, she is not phased. Caitlin Terry entered in relief, and the momentum shift in this elimination game.
just as we expected in this meeting. One punch met by another vicious jab. It looked like we might be in for a real high-flying affair early, but the pitchers have settled this game down some. An elimination game on a Sunday night. Texas Tech 4, UCLA 3 in front of another fantastic crowd. Winner to the semifinals. And a flyout from Haley Toney against Taylor Tinsley begins the 6th inning. We already saw some 6th inning drama today as Katie Stewart's 3-run homer off Jordy Fromm put Texas past Nebraska 3-1. What does this 6th inning have in store tonight? The winner faces Alabama tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN and needs to win both games tomorrow to make it to the Champ Series. UCLA, the World Series for a 34th time. They've won the national title 12 times. The last was in 2019. Texas Tech here for a second straight year. A year ago, they were the national runners-up. They beat UCLA on their way to the Champ Series. Mia Williams on 4 pitches, singled, and was hit by a pitch against Tinsley. A leadoff Red Raider is going to see her longest at-bat of the game, at least 3 pitches. And a game thick with tension, Amanda. What matters here in the late innings?
I think just continuing to breathe like you're seeing Mia Williams do at the plate. You're seeing Taylor Tinsley do the same thing in the back of the circle and be able to execute these pitches like she's done so far in this exact at bat. I mean, she is pitching her tough and only down by 1 run here, and you still have 6 outs to play with. Taylor Tinsley needs to continue to command the zone like she's doing right here against Mia Williams.
Trying to get her out for the first time. Texas Tech with 16 upperclassmen on this team. 7 seniors, 9 juniors. Not a ton of experience as a program, but a ton of big game experience with these players, including Williams, who had been to the World Series with Florida. A 1-2 for her. Mia grounds it off herself. And it's amazing to think about what Texas Tech was just 2 years ago. They were the first team out of the NCAA tournament that year. They hired Jerry Glasgow. They've obviously gone all in the NIL world and the portal. There is only 1 player remaining from that roster. That's a complete flip in 2 years, except for player who's played a couple innings in left field today but is not bad at Logan Halliman. Otherwise, Jerry Glasgow has changed the entirety of the Texas Tech roster. And they are on the scene now as one of the sports national powers. 2-2. Fly ball blasted to center by Williams. It's got the height, it's got the distance, and Texas Tech has the insurance. Extending her school single season record, number 25, and it's 5-3 Red Raiders.
Kevin, you asked what was important, and it was just command of Taylor Tinsley's pitches. And look how tough she pitched Mia Williams. Curveball missed, but this next curveball gets her right back into the count. They lived on the outside corner and then decided to work a little bit more down starting here. Another drop ball will follow, and then she goes back to the curveball that Mia Williams sends out of here. Started with the curve, ended with the curve, and Mia Williams just added to the Texas Tech lead.
A blistering performance in the leadoff spot again. 3 hits, all of them just absolutely skewered, and a hit by a pitch. And 2 runs doesn't often seem like a lot against UCLA. The way Caitlin Terry's pitch, 2 runs feels like, if not an insurmountable gap, nothing is with UCLA. An awfully tough mountain to climb. Just in case, though, there is a backup plan. Nigeri Kennedy, who started this game, getting some throws in the Texas Tech bullpen. Megan Grant 0 for 2 in the game. UCLA will need another base runner in the last 2 innings to ensure she bats again. 2-1 to Maya Davis. Davis has a couple of hits, a double and a single. She's also grounded out. That ball is another sizzler off a Red Raider bat. Davis with a hit after the Williams home run.
Mia Williams can just cover the outside pitch so well. She is so powerful, such a good athlete. The ball just feels like it trampolines off of her bat, especially on the outer half. And she says to the crowd, come on, pick it up for us late in this game. Dugout loves it, of course. 25 home runs for Mia Williams, and wants some love too.
Home run balls go to the families here at the World Series. And Raider power is the chant. Pretty much everything has been a program record for Texas Tech the last 2 years. And Mia's 25 homers, 84 RBIs stand alone in Texas Tech single season history.
Well, and Kevin, you think about just this Texas Tech team showing up to Oklahoma City with a different looking roster, different faces, but the biggest difference is that they can score runs this year. Last year when Nyjah Kennedy was pitching them to the finals, they really had a hard time executing, generating any runs for her, and she kept the scores low. But this year, this Texas Tech offense knows how to score runs quickly, especially via the long ball.
Quite famously last year, the matchup of these teams featured for the first Texas Tech run a steal of home by Michaela Garcia. That's how hard-pressed Jerry Glasgow was for offense, as Nyjah's done throwing in the bullpen. 60 home runs a year ago. They've hit 79 more this year, scored more than 200 more runs. When Jerry Glasgow got Nyjah Kennedy, when he was recruiting her, really, he said, I will let you hit, and I promise you, we will score 360 runs. That was last year. This year, they're at over 620. So he's made good on his promise and then some a year later. Allred, a couple of RBIs today. That ball is off of, it appears, the knob of her bat for a strike.
Well, remember, Kevin, when Nyjah pitched here with Stanford, they also didn't score a lot of runs. So when Nyjah Kennedy has pitched here at the World Series, it's been low-scoring offenses that has put a lot of pressure on her. And really, she just has stepped up, you know, in those moments, in those low-scoring games. This is a completely different offense than what Nyjah Kennedy is used to pitching with.
Tinsley to Allred, a 1-2.
And this is a big difference, too, with UCLA now keeping Taylor Tinsley in this game, not really having another reliable option. Fourth time through the order now that they're seeing Tinsley versus Texas Tech got to split this game in two with 2 All-Americans. Kennedy getting the start, and then Terry coming in relief and just being shut down to give these UCLA hitters a completely different look. Tinsley is trying to work the ball around the zone and give them different looks herself, but they've seen her so much in this game.
3-2 pitch, ball 4. So the 4th time through the order, home run, single, walk, with nowhere to turn for the Bruins. Those of you looking for the College Station Regional Final in college baseball between Texas A&M and USC, that game's beginning over on ESPN News. And we will get you to College Station here on ESPN as soon as we finish here in OKC. That'll be a couple of innings, obviously. So ESPN News for A&M USC baseball. Jackie Liss has struck out twice in this game for only the 2nd time this season. Multi-strikeout game. The other one was in the Supers against Florida. Jerry Glasgow is coming down the line here. I don't think Jackie realized it. He did call over Jackie after the first pitch she saw in the World Series against Mississippi State Thursday, and then she immediately hit a 2-run home run. We'll see if the Glasgow effect can work its magic again.
Watching Jerry in the third base coach's box in this game, I feel like he's looked eerily calm for Jerry Glasgow. Just not a lot going on over there, taking it all in. And his team have really great at-bats in this game. 10 hits that they put on the board to UCLA's just 3.
He talked about yesterday their 2-1 loss to Tennessee, and he said, we talked about how important every opportunity is in a game like that, and I felt like we didn't value the leadoff opportunity. They've had 3 leadoff hitters on tonight. They've all scored. He also said we had situations that we ignored signals and felt like they didn't value every aspect of the game you have to value in a 1-run game. Singing a much different tune so far tonight. 0-2 for Liss. Popped up out of play. .115th pitch coming from Taylor Tinsley. That was a close one. Dropped by Ramirez. Ball 1. Texas Tech with a chance to really put this game in a difficult spot for UCLA. 4th time through the order against Tinsley. Liss, the power hitter, takes in the dirt for ball 2.
And I think you're absolutely on to something here with UCLA still having so many outs to work with and the type of offense that they've had this season. Explosive. I mean, we've seen it all year long from teams. No lead ever feels big enough this season because of all the offense.
Saw and heard the encouragement there from Jordan Woolery at first. She and Taylor Tinsley, Kellyanne Perez talked about were the 2 players to really lead this team, this young team, through a difficult fall ball and winter. Megan Grant wasn't there all the time because she was part of the basketball team. So Tinsley and Woolery she credited with really getting this young team in line. Trying to support her teammate from first right now. It's been a long battle with Liss, and it will continue.
And it's been nonstop from Jordan Woolery this entire game, over at first base, right in the pocket of Taylor Tinsley. They have a great relationship, just continuing to cheer her on and believe in her and those positive affirmations that she continues to send her way. She's such a great leader, Jordan Woolery is.
8 pitch to Liss. 3-2 now. Williams home run, a Davis walk, or a Davis single, an Allred walk. And now the 9th pitch to the fearsome Jackie Liss, the Red Raiders leader in slugging percentage.
Ball inside.
It is inside. It is ball 4. It is another bases loaded situation coming up for Texas Tech. UCLA's got to feel like they are just dangling from the cliff. One hand with the fingers slipping moment by moment. Panel to shallow right. Here comes Grant. Davis, one of the fastest runners in the game, is safe at home. Yesterday, Panel scored the tying run on a sacrifice fly. A sac fly here brings in a run for a 6-3 Texas Tech lead.
Taylor Panel just doing her job, getting underneath the pitch to send it to the outfield deep enough to to be able to score the wheels of Davis, one of the fastest players on this team, one of the fastest players in the country. And on that throw too, Megan Grant slipped. There's a divot out in right field too. She ended up on the ground and hit the ground pretty hard. I'm hoping that she's okay.
We may have a review here.
Call on the field is that the runner at second base left on time on the catch. UCLA is using their first challenge of the game to review this play. Plays under further review.
First of 2 challenges. Remember, Maya Davis scored the winning run in the semis last year on a sac fly to shallow right to send Texas Tech to the Champ Series.
Looking at this runner at second base is what we're looking at, and she does leave on time, it looks like.
That would be Allred, who had that semifinal winning sac fly.
Great dive by Davis to go to the backside of home plate, and I feel like Grant didn't get everything on that throw because of the fact that she slipped. If she would have had 100% behind it with how close that actually ended up being, I think she may have had a shot to get her.
After further review, the call on the field has been confirmed. The runner left on time. That's UCLA's first challenge. They have 1 remaining.
So UCLA uses its first challenge, and they have lost it.
Maya Davis just gets so low. She goes to the backside of the bag, fingertips in, and a late tag, but she gets as small as she possibly can going toward that point on the backside of the plate.
Caitlin Terry to the bat, 0 for 2 of the walk. 2 on, 2 out. 2-run 6th inning for Texas Tech. Terry left field. And she'll get back into the circle now. She left it with a 1-run lead. The advantage has swelled to 3. Texas Tech 6 outs away from a return trip to the semis, thanks in part to their powerful leadoff hitter.
She's found a way to get on base all 4 times that she has come to the plate, but none more powerful than that 25th home run off of Mia Williams' bat. She crushed that ball.
Game with the bases loaded, 1 out in the 3rd inning. Caitlin Terry came in. Hey, hit the ball. Took over for Nyjah Kennedy. Bases loaded, 1 out. Kanaya Bragg, dangerous hitter, struck her out. Alexis Ramirez, dangerous hitter, flies her out. And from there on out, no more base runners for UCLA, as Terry has struck out 4 and retired all 8 she's faced in relief. This is what Texas Tech's done this year. 1-2 combo of Kennedy and Terry, and it's been the former UCLA Bruin, Amanda, the dominant force tonight. Trying to make it 9 of 9 against Alejandre. What's worked so well for Caitlin in this game?
It's the placement of her curveball. That was a pitch that was getting hit in regionals and super regionals that teams were really on time with. I mean, the batting average against her curveball in the last couple of weeks has been much higher than normal, especially to right-handed hitters. But she's been able to work that curveball really crisply on both sides of the plate, backdoor curveball, as well as sliding it all the way across the plate. Everything to me is going off of that pitch. Her screwball, showing her rise ball when she needs to, like that. She's just spinning the ball in a different type of way than what we've seen from her in the last couple of weeks. Florida was so on her. Terry and Kennedy were both giving up runs. Spinning rise ball through the zone on the outside corner and getting a swing and miss. It's just she has been so on and so sharp, so crisp, throwing with great velocity too.
See if UCLA can make any adjustments the second time through. Kanaya Bragg faces her for a second time. Had that bases loaded strikeout in the third. 5 Ks in 9 hitters, 3 flyouts, 1 ground out. Right down the middle for a strike.
And then when she's left pitches out over the heart of the plate, UCLA just doesn't look like they're picking up pitches out of her hand very well. Something is deceptive about the way that she's throwing. Something is, they're just not seeing her well like that. I mean, that is the first mistake that has been hit off of Terry. A pitch that's out over the heart of the plate, and Bragg is ready to punish it. No, Terry is making some mistakes early in the count, and UCLA is a type of offense that if they find more like that, they can hit them hard and score some runs.
And Alyssa, UCLA looking to show a little fight here late in the game.
Yeah, Kelly Inouye Perez and Lisa Fernandez gathered the team before this crucial half inning, and I saw them tell them all to take a couple of deep breaths, which they did together. Obviously a challenge in front of them to make up a couple of runs to get back in this game, but we talked about it earlier in the week. This is a team that was challenged in the fall by their head coach after seeing some early adversity and responded in a big way. We'll see if they can do it here.
You even see a few smiles in there. Kelly Inouye Perez is smiling, trying to keep spirits high. Leah Phillips comes on as a pinch runner for Bragg. And a strike to Alexis Ramirez, 0-1. Remember, Bragg has been dealing with a lower leg injury. Left the game Thursday for a few innings. So one more base runner would get the tying run to the plate. One more base runner means unless there's a double play or Phillips is caught stealing or thrown out on the bases, Megan Grant will get another at-bat.
I'm just thinking about how on time UCLA was with everything that Arkansas threw at them in their game the other night, scoring those 11 runs. It just looked like they couldn't miss. They were seeing the ball so big. They're being an explosive offense, and seeing what Terry has been able to do, they just looked pretty stumped and not necessarily what they're expecting to see from her. I think it's this extra velocity that she's been throwing with too.
Does she look different to you than UCLA Caitlin Terry from a year ago?
She always kind of looks the same to me, to be honest. She has this really whippy motion, great arm speed, and just this bulldog in the circle gonna attack you.
Ramirez fouls her right back here.
But there's this determination behind the tools that she has, the pitches that she has that can't be beat. It's this fiery personality that she brings to the circle that you were talking about, that even Kelly Inouye Perez had talked about whenever Caitlin Terry was at UCLA. Jerry Glasgow would tell you the same thing. She is a fierce competitor and really just thriving in this moment against her former team up to this point.
Ramirez 0 for 2, 1 on, 1 out, a 3-run game. Staying alive here. These have been a couple of better at-bats for UCLA. Lest we forget, this is the team with the most runs scored in a single season in the history of D1 softball. And they've got 5 outs left to get some of those runs back. Ramirez down to third. This could be two. It is around the horn, an inning-ending double play.
She had not thrown her changeup very much. UCLA had seen it a couple of times, but she needed it here. You said it, their at-bats were better, more on her these last couple of hitters, so she brings out the change, and it turns into a ground ball double play to get out of the inning. Texas Tech is just 3 outs away from holding off an elimination game.
I was made to shine.
NCAA Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Three home runs tonight between the first and third most prolific home run hitting teams in the country. Texas Tech's got 2 of them. And a 6-3 lead for the Red Raiders, the 11 seed in this elimination game. UCLA got a 2-run homer from Jordan Woolery in the first. They've done very little since. The winner of this game will face Alabama tomorrow night. 6 local, 7 Eastern on ESPN. They'll need to beat Alabama twice. Crimson Tide, the top seeder, 1 win from the Champ Series. For the losing team, it is the end of the line. Texas Tech 58-8, UCLA 53-9, and right now, if the score holds, the Red Raiders are going on, and the Bruins are going to wait another year for that elusive 13th national title. That is a swing by Burns, and it's 0-2 against Tinsley. Texas Tech has scored in 4 of the 6 innings against Taylor Tinsley, who's thrown all 17 innings for UCLA at this World Series.
Cool. Love the way that Kelly Inouye Perez talked about Taylor Tinsley and how she's taken this young pitching staff under her wing and taught them everything that Megan Framo taught her. She was a freshman and got to pitch with Megan Framo and Brooke Yanez and had an opportunity to learn from Megan Framo, who had, of course, learned from Rachel Garcia, who she pitched with. So it's just this legacy that these UCLA pitchers tend to pass down to one another, and Tinsley taking the young pitchers under her wing. And even though she's had all this pressure on her this entire year to limit the damage from offenses, and she's been the one in all the big games.
Howard to left and foul by Burns. Burns' home run in the second tied the game. Strikeout and a long flyout since then. 127 pitches, Taylor Tinsley. Senior from Lawrenceville, Georgia, who has been a 4-year Bruin and hasn't had the same numbers this year. It was an All-American last season. Obviously got to pitch a lot less. But she's had to throw pretty much every important inning for UCLA this year. 232 innings. Next closest Natalie Cable's just over 67. That's ball 3. Burns is going down to first. She forgot the count. Marty Abizishan had it. If there's college softball Kangaroo Court, she'll be hearing about it. 3-2. Try it again. Ball. All right, go ahead, Jesse. You had some practice at it. Texas Tech with 6 walks in the game against Tinsley. They have the leadoff hitter on for a 4th time. The first 3 have scored. Strike 1 to Vic Valdez. What a shot that is. Sun peeking through in between the decks. A bunt by Valdez is foul. We asked Kellyanne Perez as well, how do you get Taylor Tinsley to get through this postseason? Asked Taylor, how do you handle it? A lot of ice baths was part of the answer, but talked mostly about the mental side of it. Taylor said it's not really much physical. The game in general is so mental. She's probably being modest. It has to be physical with how many pitches she's thrown. But, and you can speak to this as a former pitcher, Amanda, the mental capacity, the mental focus, sharpness she must have throwing every pitch against these lineups has to be something truly special.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it was something in the fall that she wanted to be challenged more by Lisa Fernandez in the bullpen. Specifically asked for that from Kellyanne Perez and wanted to be in the bullpen with Lisa, because Lisa's bullpens, they have a history to them. You hear about them through the UCLA pitchers, challenging them and creating some endurance, both physically and mentally, making them stronger. And when somebody like Lisa Fernandez is pushing you, you're going to rise to her challenges. You want to pitch great for her, you want to be great for her, and as well for your team, of course. But she's Lisa Fernandez. You're having bullpens with her. She's going to help you become the best version of yourself that you possibly can be. And I think that you've seen Tinsley grow as a pitcher, as a person, mentally, and I'm sure Lisa Fernandez is very proud of her.
Kid who started playing softball at 4, pitching at 7. Her dad was a baseball player. Her mom was a track and field runner. Also loves golf, played high school golf, Taylor Tinsley, but this was the one for her, coming out of George Walton Academy, a small private school near Athens, Georgia. And Kelly said to us, Taylor Tinsley could have gone anywhere, but she is going to get her undergrad and master's at UCLA. She wanted to challenge herself academically. She wanted to be a part of the most historic program in the sport. She wants to be the one in the circle, in the stage, in those big moments. Fly ball from Valdez, and this is Lamar in center for the first out.
Well, and like you said, she's from Atlanta, and Taylor Tinsley wanted to stay loyal to UCLA, but being from Atlanta, it would have been easy to probably go try to find an SEC school or ACC school to go to and move back closer to home, especially after 2 pitchers transferred out of the UCLA program. Addison Fisher going to Georgia and Caitlin Terry going to UCLA. She knew a lot would be put on her, and she still wanted to stay loyal to this UCLA program.
And to Haley Toney for a strike. Tony with a base hit and a run scored. Her first at-bats of the World Series. Homered off of Tinsley, a game-winning home run last year when these teams faced in the 6th inning. That was in a 1-1 game. This game was never 1-1. Well, it was 1-1 between Megan Grant and Jordan Willery, crossing on Willery's home run, I guess. Ten hits, 6 walks for Tech. Just 4 hits for UCLA. Grant out of the game defensively right now. She's due up 4th in the 7th inning. Because of that double play, she is not guaranteed to hit again. And Willery's due up 5th. UCLA is going to need 2 base runners to ensure Grant and Willery have one more collegiate crack. It's enough to ask to keep the game 6-3 right now against this lineup, as Tony spoils a 1-2.
And UCLA had a 9-run inning against Arkansas when their bats woke up, so they're capable of putting up a big crooked number. It's going to be hard with the way that Terry has been pitching in relief against them. Or maybe you bring Nyjah in for the 7th inning. You never know what Jerry Glasgow is going to have up his sleeve.
Most pitches thrown by anybody at this World Series. This will be 142 for Tinsley. Going to places she's never gone before in terms of pitch count. The next pitch will tie her season high. Through 143 against Nebraska. Ground ball to short. Garcia's on it. Safe the call at second. Burns just got in there ahead of the catch by Phillips. We'll see if UCLA challenges, but it's 2 on, 1 out as it stands for Mia Williams. Kelly says play on.
And that was the only play that Alina Garcia had, because this pulled her into the 5-6 hole deep. Tony has some speed, so this is the only shot from her knee. Does look like the throw got there late to Phillips.
And now Kelly I is going to make the visit to the circle. Could be the last time she gets a chance to do this with Taylor Tinsley.
This is going to be now the 5th time that Texas Tech has seen her. Mia Williams has been a force at the top of the order. Reached base all 4 times that she's been up, and now she's going to have to face her with 2 on.
And Michaela Garcia is going to be the runner at second base here. Well, how in the world is Taylor Tinsley going to figure this one out? Well, first pitch of the game, Mia Williams hit off the top of the wall in center. Hit it so hard she couldn't even get to second. She's just blistered 3 balls today. And she gets under this one. Shallow left field, and the new left fielder, Sadri Mayonio, makes the catch, and Tinsley gets Williams for the first time in her 5th try. It'll be Berry, Lamar, and Slimp. 8-9-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Keep it within 3. UCLA's got to feel like it's got a shot. You got to get through the player, though, with the most hits of any active D1 player first in Maya Davis. And Davis has added 3 more tonight. She's 3 for 4. 7 for 11 at the World Series. And she takes high, throw to third, and Garcia, who stole home against UCLA last year, cannot steal third. So we go to the bottom of the 7th. Berry, Lamar, and Slim. If anybody gets on, Megan Grant. If anybody else gets on, Jordan Woolery. They'll need to hit, or the Bruins season is over. UCLA needs 3 runs in an inning to extend its season. They've done that before. They had a 9-run inning in their last game on Friday. Hit 3 homers in that game, and they haven't only broken the single season record, they've decimated the previous record. Previous record was 161. Oklahoma was the first one to get there this year at 187, and UCLA has even outpaced them by 20. Bruins have 7 home runs here at the World Series. They've got the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, and they need 3 runs against, for many of these players, their former teammate. We mentioned it a bunch tonight, but if you're just joining us, it bears repeating. Caitlin Terry transferred from UCLA, where she started 5 games at the World Series over the last 2 years. She has allowed just 1 base runner, but faced the minimum in 3 2/3 innings of relief, pitching for Texas Tech. Gets a pinch hitter, Ramsey Suarez, batting in the 8th spot for Sujin Berry. Suarez fouls away strike 1.
It's been a tough night for the bottom of the order for UCLA in the 8 and 9 hole. 4 strikeouts, so put in a pinch hitter here, fresh off the bench.
Suarez is a pinch hitter this year, 7 for 17 with a walk and a hit by pitch, so nearly a .500 on-base percentage off the bench. Jolena Lamar is next, Riley Slimp after that, then Grant and Woolery. And Suarez puts a charge into this one, off the bench, into the bleachers. Ramsey Suarez with a jolt of energy into that UCLA dugout, which is spilled around home plate. A pinch hit home run at 6-4, and UCLA will bring the tying run to the on-deck circle. 270 feet, a massive swing from Suarez.
Nothing like it, coming off the bench as a pitch hitter and getting one of those mistakes that we talked about for Terry. She's leaving some pitches early in the count out over the heart, and Ramsey just connects with it. 270 feet, a no-doubter. She watches it in the air go over the fence, but she knew it right off her bat. Caitlin Terry says, we're good. That's all right, we're good. That is a statement, though. In the 7th inning, it looks like Nyjah Kennedy will enter into this game.
The final pitch Caitlin Terry throws is hit 270 feet. And it is going to be Nyjah Kennedy, who really struggled at the start of this game to try and see it out for Texas Tech. Jerry Glasgow coming down the dugout. Caitlin Terry was almost perfect. Faced the minimum in 3 2/3, struck out 5. But this could be the final game for Nyjah Kennedy. And knowing Jerry Glasgow and knowing how he feels about Nyjah Kennedy, knowing how he's talked about Nyjah Kennedy, it does track that if this is going to be the end, he wants Nyjah to play a big part in this. Even though Terry was brilliant in relief, Kennedy will come in to try to get the final 3 outs and send Texas Tech back to the semifinals.
And I think bring her in against the 9-hole to then face the top of the order, especially after that swing from Suarez. But I think that Jerry Glasgow, kind of to your point, would have a hard time with UCLA tying up this game or winning this game with Nyjah Kennedy sitting on the bench.
He said earlier in the World Series, I worry all the time about Nyjah getting hurt. It's time to let her play. In a UCLA dugout, they got rally visors, they got dollar bills, and they got good vibes. Texas Tech's got the former National Pitcher of the Year and the 3-time All-American candidate. Desiree Spearman has come in the game to play left. She's a 4th different left fielder in 7 innings. And another pinch hitter is coming up here. Jasmine Leyva batting for Jolina Lamar. Leyva's last hit May 8th against Wisconsin. Until now, an opposite field knock for Leyva. Nobody is out. The top of the order is coming up, and UCLA will bring up Slimp as a tying run. Taylor Panel goes into the circle to talk to Kennedy. And UCLA will re-enter Lamar as the runner. Leyva's going to get a hero's welcome. She almost ran over Marty Abazishan, the plate umpire, on her way back to the dugout. Look at her go. Not a bad time for your 5th hit of the year, is it?
These pinch hitters coming in, firing up the dugout, firing up the fans.
Megan Grant to the on-deck circle with nobody out. So Riley Slimp takes ball 1. Slimp had a home run on Thursday night off of Jocelyn Brisky. A double in the game today. Change up from Kennedy and swords up against Slimp.
They're going to be on the speed, then she's going to throw that change up late in this game. Everybody wanting to be aggressive, to get the big hit, to get back into this game. That change up is going to be important.
Slimp with a good hack, but Kennedy's got the count in her favor at 1-2. Just 2 home runs for Slimp a season ago. This year up to 16. A 3rd-team All-American. Trying to keep the party going. Line drive left field. That ball is foul. A tester. A just allowed strike. And it's still 1-2. That UCLA dugout is a happy mess right now. Fake dollar bills and everything else strewn about. Not quite the same vibes across the way, but they do have the lead. 3 hard-earned outs to get against 3 All-Americans. Slimp down swinging. There's 1 and a big one for Kennedy. 2 outs to get now. And for perhaps the final time, in her college career, the single season home run record holder, Megan Grant. She homered off Nyjah at the World Series 2 years ago. And she takes ball one. The home run number is 42 for the Bruin, who wears number 43. Right in there around the outside for strike one. 4 years of epic battles between these two, from their days together in the Pac-12 to the World Series stage once more. Fly ball from Grant. It's into shallow left. It's playable for Spearman, and it's the second out of the inning. UCLA has one arrow remaining in the quiver, but it is a potent one. And a young woman who homered off of Kennedy in the first, Jordan Woolery. Strike one, right in there. Woolery smiles, maybe wondering if she missed the opportune moment. Fly ball to center. Jordan Woolery does it again! Magic in the Oklahoma moonlight. Here comes Caitlin Terry again. Nyjah Kennedy will stay in this game somewhere in the field. But it is Texas Tech 6. It is UCLA 6. And it was Jordan Woolery who would not, could not go down without one more titanic swing.
The energy in this UCLA dugout has just been next level in the bottom of the 7th inning. These two pinch hitters spreading the energy to everybody else and giving Grant and Woolery both a chance to get up to bat in this bottom of the 7th inning.
Nyjah's going to play first just in case Jerry Glasgow wants her to pitch again. It's possible that is the last pitch she'll throw in college. Now that depends on Caitlin Terry and Alina Garcia and maybe the proceedings from there. But a 3-run 7th inning with UCLA 1 out away from elimination has tied this game at 6. A World Series jammed with stars as far as the eyes can see delivers again. And Garcia goes after the first pitch. 7 innings, not enough. We are destined for extras in Oklahoma City.
The bottom of the 7th always has this Bruin magic here in Oklahoma City. Jordan Woolery, she didn't want the 70-mile-an-hour mistake over the heart of the plate. She wanted the changeup out of the hand of Kennedy. One of the best to ever do it, the bat flip, tying up the game. But she doesn't get a chance without Suarez and Leyva. Jordan Woolery continues to be one of the most clutch hitters that has ever played at this UCLA program. My goodness, what a moment, and she wants the fans to love it up.
For a UCLA fan, it might have been hard to pick their favorite of the record 207 home runs this season. I think now that number 208's in the books, there's no question. It's Jordan Woolery. 0-1 pitch, 2 outs, bottom 7, game-tying 2-run shot off Nyjah Kennedy. And Taylor Tinsley's career is not done. She takes the circle, perhaps rejuvenated, for extra innings at the World Series on Elimination Sunday, facing Maya Davis. And throwing strike one, a career high 147 pitches for Tinsley, and Megan Grant returns to the field in right. She flied out to left as the tying run, but as has happened so often in her 4 years, Jordan Woolery's picked her up. On the rare occasion Megan Grant does make an out. Now Davis down to first, and who's there but Woolery?
We were talking about this in the break, but how big is it that Garcia got thrown out on a steal as Woolery makes his catch as a ball magnet, no problem on the backhand. But remember, the top of the 7 ended when Garcia was trying to steal third, and Texas Tech had the middle of their order coming up. That seems like such a precious big out for Texas Tech at this point in the game now.
Lauren Allred. At the time, it just seemed like kind of an aw shucks risky jerry ball move, and all of a sudden we are in extra innings, and every decision and every moment is magnified as Texas Tech and UCLA play for the right to keep their season alive for the World Series semis. Number 150 here to Allred. And remember this from Texas Tech's perspective. They do share quite a bit of connective tissue from last year's team. They took the ultimate punch in last year's semis, an 0-2 2-out home run from Oklahoma's Abby Dayton to tie that game in the 7th. What did they do in the bottom of the 7th? Came back, got a run, walked it off. And Allred is hit by a pitch. Well, Marty Abizishan's going to bring her back to the batter's box. Maybe saying that this ball was in the river, maybe saying that Allred leaned in. He's going to give Jerry Glasgow an explanation right now. Jerry was coming down the line already signaling for a review. Pretty close to the strike zone.
Ruling on the field is that it was a ball that the batter moved her arm in front of. Ruled a ball. Texas Tech is challenging that it's a hit by pitch. First challenge, plays under further review.
All right, we're going to check in here. Christy Cornwell, our rules analyst, is standing by. Christy, take us through this play.
So there are a few critical elements that the crew will have to rule on. If the ball's entirely in the batter's box, the batter does not have to move out of the way. In this case, we can see the ball is not in the batter's box, so the batter cannot intentionally move into the ball, which is what it appears has happened. So I believe this is the correct call.
All right, so Christy, if the batter intentionally moves into the ball, then the call is simply ball one and the at-bat continues?
Correct. It's a dead ball, and the batter stays in the box.
Okay, thank you so much, Christy. So first challenge for Texas Tech. Allred's looking at it on the video board.
It looked like she was talking to Marty Abizishan as well, just to get clarification. Okay, so is it a ball? Am I still going to get a chance to hit here?
Nice to have a moment to catch our breath, isn't it?
Yeah.
My, oh my. Extra innings for Texas Tech for a second straight day. Yesterday they lost in 9 to Tennessee, 2-1. On a walk-off home run for Emma Clark. Jerry's hanging out with the third base umpire, Mike Burwell.
Yeah, it looks like he's saying, yeah, this is taking a long time here.
I will go on the record with something here. This will not be the longest replay review in a UCLA game at the World Series.
Hashtag Appendix G. Megan Grant not touching home.
That dial.
After further review, the call on the field has been confirmed. It is a dead ball. The count will be 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's Texas Tech's first challenge. They have 1 remaining.
Important that that was a ball as well. If that would have been in the strike zone and Allred had leaned into it, then she, I believe, would be struck out, right? So that's why she was getting clarification from Marty Abization. Yep, it was a ball, so it'll be a dead ball.
So here's Allred, who had that walk-off sack fly in the semis a year ago. Staying alive, 1-2, and taking outside. She has such a great eye, Lauren Allred, a player who had to fight to stay in this all-star lineup with all the transfers coming in. And not only has she stayed in it, she's batting third in an elimination game.
She's got a big swing, too. Really nice, mechanically sound swing that Jerry Glasgow loves to rave about. And one of the hardest workers, always wants those machines to be the hardest thing ever to get her reps at practice when Coach Glasgow sets those up.
6 pitch to Allred, 156th pitch from Tinsley tonight. Ground ball to first. Busy little stretch here for Jordan. And there are 2 away. Taylor Tinsley's only 1-2-3 inning was back in the 3rd. She's trying to get it against the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Jackie Liss has alternated strikeouts and walks in the game. Remember, she homered to open the World Series and has 21 home runs on the year. In the bottom of the 8th, UCLA will have Bri Alejandre, Kenaya Bragg, and Alexis Ramirez due up, assuming Bragg re-enters for Phillips. 5, 6, 7. Oh, 1. Muscled out of play. It's 0-2. A 3-run bottom of the 7th for UCLA. A pinch hit homer by Ramsey Suarez. A pinch hit single for Jasmine Leyva. A 2-run home run with 2 outs for Jordan Willery. Fly ball right center. Stays in the park for Lamar. And the UCLA Bruins, the 12-time national champions, need just 1 run for the semifinals. could go down as one of the most iconic performances in the history of the most iconic program in the sport. Jordan Woolery with two two-run home runs, one of them with 2 outs off Nyjah Kennedy. UCLA needs a run to win it in the 8th. The winner of this game to the semifinals tomorrow. And I know UCLA is a program measured by national titles, not semifinals, but Jordan Woolery's swings tonight will reverberate through eternity if they could pull off this victory. Victoria Valdez just stopped Caitlin Terry. The sprinklers are going off. 8th inning sprinklers. Oh my word. The power's on, but the sprinklers are as well. We got to stop play here for a moment in the 8th.
I love that they put an umbrella on in the stadium. Only person who needs an umbrella, it might be Lauren Allred out in right field.
Well, you know, been a long game. We got to cover the cameras, rehydrate the field.
Well, we can't play through this?
Now the sprinklers are getting the foul pole in right field. Down the line, that sprinkler jet is just foul. This is insane. Oh my gosh. What a way to take the tension out of the most important game in these players' lives.
It's like a little water park down there in right field.
Yeah. Greg didn't think he was going to have to break out the tarp on the camera tonight. You're right down there, Greg. I mean, it was 94 at first pitch. This might have felt nice earlier. The sprinklers are done. 3 cheers for the sprinklers. All right, Greg, get the camera fully operational again. I tell you what, if there's a ball hit down the right field line right now, we will have truly seen it all. So Caitlin Terry will be granted some more warm-up pitches.
Well, if there is one hit down the right field line, the runners are going to be aggressive, trying to take extra bases.
Yep.
Basically going to be a wet ball down there, especially just right down the line.
Lauren Allred is the right fielder. Maybe Brie Alejandre will just hit it to left if she puts it in play. She has struck out. And she goes up top, try to get a Terry Rise ball. Well, Nyjah Kennedy could still pitch. She's playing first, but it's Caitlin Terry against her old team, where 1 run will win it, trying to send this game to the 9th.
You just have to be so careful. I mean, this is the best home run hitting team of all time, and 1 pitch, 1 swing can win it for the Bruins.
Alejandre, the Big Ten freshman home run record, has had a quiet World Series, 0 for 7. And that's a loud rip for strike 2. 3 home runs in the tournament. Had driven in a run in 5 games in a row in the tournament coming into Thursday. The 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 swinging. And at least for the moment here, KT's got her groove back. Replaced after the home run in the 7th. Re-entered for a pop out and gets a critical K.
That leadoff hitter is always so big to get. Threw a lot of strikes, got some chases from Alejandre with the rise ball, and a few swings and misses there for the K in the first out.
Kanaya Bragg re-enters with 1 out. Oh boy, called ball 1. Looked like a good pitch at the knees. UCLA has 208 home runs, 209 now this year. None of those 209 are a walk-off. 1-1 to Bragg. Kanaya homered off of Texas Tech and Nyjah Kennedy last year at the World Series. It was a game-tying home run in the 5th. Potential game-winning run in the 8th. Strike 2 as Terry is throwing with that fierceness and ferocity again.
Yeah, and that rise ball is rising. It's jumping, it's moving. One thing that we've noticed about Bragg is she is really good hitting it to the opposite side of the field where the sprinklers just went off.
Back backdoor curve and strike 3 called. Hands on hips for Terry, staring into the Red Raider cheering section. She's punched out the first 2.
Just paints that outside corner, backdoor action to a right-handed hitter right at the perfect spot on the knees to get back-to-back strikeouts for Terry here.
Now Alexis Ramirez. Texas Tech trying to take this to the 9th for a second straight day. They didn't play a single extra inning game in the regular season. They played 2 memorable ones here in the postseason, coming in now a third. UCLA's second extra inning game all year, and their first since February 13th against Oklahoma State.
They're having some pretty free swings here in the 8th inning, really helping Terry out, which is going to give her more confidence, like you saw after that second strikeout in this inning, looking back to the dugout.
She's getting that call right around the outside corner. And the Red Raider faithful are ready to roar. Into left center field. That is in for a base hit. Ramirez just floated it off the end of the bat. And UCLA has the winning run aboard with 2 outs. Ramirez's 11th hit of the NCAA tournament. She'll come out for a pinch runner. UCLA's already used a couple of substitutes in the game. Jayla Ann Mercado is available as a pinch runner. And look at this. Jerry Glasgow is going to make yet another pitching change. Here comes Nyjah Kennedy again. It was Kennedy for 2 1/3. Terry came in the 3rd, gave up a home run to Ramsey Suarez, who's the batter right now. Kennedy came in after that, gave up a home run to Woolery. Terry came in to end the 7th, and now Kennedy's going to come back in to try to get out of the 8th. This is what Jerry Glasgow can do here with these 2 pitchers who hit and play the field. He uses the flex position and the designated player spot to make a lineup card that looks like that picture of the Charlie Day whiteboard that's going around the internet for years, or a Jackson Pollock painting. Don't try to keep score with the positions, just let it ride. Jackie Liss back into play first. Terry's now the designated player, and Kennedy is pitching for a 3rd time.
Yeah, that's what we do. We just let the DP flex ride. Like you said, just whatever is happening the umpires allow, that is fair game. How about Suarez? And the last time that she was up in the 7th inning against Terry, pinch hit to lead off the inning, knew off the bat. That went 270 feet. And what it did, it gave life to UCLA to tie it up, be able to get the bat in the hands of Jordan Woolery in that same inning. Feels like forever ago now. But the one thing that I noticed about Nyjah Kennedy when she came back and pitched in that 7th inning is in that Jordan Woolery home run, you could tell that she let up on her changeup. She has to be able to sell that pitch better as she faces these next hitters.
So the pinch runner at first is Mercado as Suarez takes up and away. Kennedy has had an uncharacteristically shaky start in an uncharacteristically shaky postseason. 3 innings, 5 earned runs. She's also hit 3 batters. And she is behind Suarez, missing badly on ball 2. Mercado, the pinch runner, is the winning run at first.
These pitches have not been close.
3-0 to Suarez. She takes a strike.
If she walks Suarez here, she gets a hit. I would not be surprised to see Terry enter back into this game.
Suarez thought she walked, but perfectly to the outside edge. And the count to 3-2. Nyjah Kennedy in her 17th World Series game strikes out Suarez to send us into the 9th. 13 strikeouts for Texas Tech pitching.
That was a miss. Valdez was setting up on the outside corner. It goes to the inner half, but it's just the pure power that Kennedy throws with that got the swing and miss. 71 miles an hour on the inside corner, and the Nyjah stomp is alive and well in extras.
Those of us in the college softball world, those of you who are watching, have often heard the term. We love to use it, mayhem. Our version of March Madness in May. This is the last day of May. And at the rate this game's going, maybe it'll extend into June. Nyjah Kennedy came back into the 8th inning to strike out Ramsey Suarez. A contemplative Kennedy trying to extend her college career. She and Caitlin Terry have struck out 13 Bruins. They've allowed 6 runs, and Taylor Tinsley is still out there. She has been the lone wolf, the lone Bruin in the circle. 160 pitches deep. Facing 5'6'7" Taylor Panel. A big hitter who's got a sac fly. Drove in the last Tech run back in the 6th to lead off in the 9th. Panel waits back for that changeup. Tinsley is facing these hitters, Amanda, for a 5th time in the game. I know it's 6 runs, but against this offense, 6 runs in 8 innings with these bats is really not a bad result.
Her resilience has been incredible in this game when you look up at the fact that she's given up 11 hits, but the majority of those came in the first few innings. I mean, since then, she's been able to move the ball around. Now, there's been some walks and a couple of runs that were scored in the 6th, of course, but they have not been getting as many hits off of her in the later innings, and it's given UCLA a chance to get more hits on the board and get back into this game.
7 hits in the first 2 innings, 4 hits in the last 6. And here's another one, a line drive for Panel. And Texas Tech gets a leadoff runner aboard on a Panel laser.
How quiet her hands were, Panel. Goes down to get this pitch, not a lot of movement, and her load, she keeps her hands inside this pitch to drive it 77 miles an hour to the left side off her bat. Get the leadoff on board.
2 hits for Paddle tonight. And here's Caitlin Terry. Chance to play hero against her old team again for Texas Tech. 0 for 3 with a walk. First pitch swinging, strike 1. She has been brought into the circle twice. She's been in left. Right now she is in the designated player spot. A first team All-American for the first time. The second best on-base percentage in the Big 12 and trying to keep the line moving here in the 9th. Corners are in, expecting Terry to potentially bunt. She's sure not going to bunt. This ball blistered to the gap and played off the wall. Kicks away from Slim. Here comes Paddle. Texas Tech takes the lead. Caitlin Terry comes through in the batter's box. The exact kind of swing Jerry Glasgow thought he could get this year out of Caitlin Terry.
Cool your hips and drive your legs. That's what Jerry Glasgow likes to tell Caitlin Terry, and it's exactly what she did. She went up looking to hit. She missed that first mistake in her first swing that was out over the plate and hit an even better pitch that was off the plate from Tinsley. Determined to get a hit and give herself the lead. Get a run back that she had given up in the circle.
16th double of the year for Terry. The batter is going to be Desiree Spearman hitting for the first time as both teams enter into conference mode here. Texas Tech answers back from the big swing by Woolery. And they've got a potential 8th run in scoring position with nobody out.
And again, remember, no lead ever feels big enough this year, but against also this UCLA offense that can score runs in bunches. And so with Texas Tech having the first couple of hitters on board and reach and seeing the ball well off of Tinsley, it's a great time for a timeout by Kelly Inouye Perez to just calm Tinsley down. Talk about the pitch calling here moving forward. They're really squaring her up.
Desiree Spearman's first at-bat of the game. And it speaks to the ridiculous depth of this team that Spearman, a junior from El Paso, Texas, has not batted in this game. When you look at her numbers this year, nearly a 1,200 OPS. Last year, a 1,583 OPS at New Mexico State. A former Conference USA Player of the Year. Seeing Tinsley for the first time, and she's behind 0-2.
Look at Tinsley just continuing to be out there in battle, Kevin. 167 pitches that she has now thrown. She's not working in tandem like anybody, like complete opposite of what Texas Tech has done in this game with Kennedy and Terry. It has just been all her, the senior, her season, her collegiate career on the line, and still just looking so poised, calm, and confident in the circle in the 9th.
The person she mostly worked in tandem with just doubled against her for the lead. Valdez and Tony, the 8 and 9 hitters next. Spearman trying to at least move up Terry, if not do more damage.
Well, and every time she gets the ball back, Taylor Tinsley will go to the very back of the circle, look out to the flagpoles or to center field and take a deep breath, try to gather herself. Every time she does this, whether she's given up 7 runs, no runs, doesn't matter. It's her routine, it's her belief, and it's what she's going to just lean on here late in this game.
Leaning on it, 170 pitches in. Ground ball to shortstop. Garcia from her knees does not throw it. Decided she had no chance to get Spearman, which sets up a perfect bunting situation for Victoria Valdez. 2 on and nobody out. First hit of the NCAA tournament for Spearman, who had 2 walks but was 0 for 5. And here's Valdez. This will almost certainly be a bunt attempt. Did that hit her? It did. Oh my goodness. Valdez, who is 2 for 27 on the year, trying to give away an out, gets hit to load the bases.
Right in that forearm. Sure did.
That could be even more so maybe than the Terry double, a pitch that haunts UCLA. Because now you have the bases loaded, nobody out for Tony, Williams, and Davis. Kellyanne Perez talking to Marty Abization. Maybe there's a question she has of, did Valdez offer? Would it have been a swing? Marty said it was not. No offer, and therefore a hit by pitch. Not a reviewable play. So Texas Tech can really open this thing up now. They have shaken off the terrors of the 7th. And Ramirez will go out to the circle with the bases loaded and nobody out in the 9th.
The hits that Texas Tech have had this inning, their exit velocity, all 3 of them have been at 65 miles an hour or up, 68 and 77 miles an hour. Seen her well, and I mean, they've seen her a lot. 172 pitches, they're on time, and it's looking like determined to put more runs on the board here in this 9th.
Corners are in. You can't be surprised if Tony tries to bunt or if she tries to hit for power with Texas Tech. Can't be surprised of anything at this point. She may not be hitting at all. It's 2-0, and these two have been in the dirt. 2 hits today for Tony, her first at-bats in the World Series. Terry, Spearman, and Valdez are the runners. And Kellyanne Perez is out trying to get her infield in place, I think.
She's yelling at Lisa Fernandez, I think, down at the end of the dugout, trying to communicate, not sure what it was. Looks like Lisa Fernandez is going to go in and to the front of the dugout and talk to her, but just trying to get a hold of each other.
Pitch number 175 coming up. The iron arm of Tinsley. Got a chase from Tony. Would have been ball 3. Most pitches thrown at the World Series since Rachel Garcia, another pitcher in that UCLA legacy, threw 179 in 2019. And Jerry Glasgow is going to take a timeout. I don't know how anybody has a timeout left in this game. I think we've had about 37 timeouts between the two teams. But Jerry Glasgow is going to take his with a 2-2 count. Call the runners together. Call in Haley Tony.
That Rachel Garcia game, I believe she had a walk-off home run against Washington. So a pitcher that threw almost 180 pitches, went extra innings, and she had the walk-off hit for UCLA in that game. Epic performance by one of the Bruin best.
A game that sent them to the championship series. Champ Series, they would win over Oklahoma, their last title in 2019. So pitch number 176 now, 2-2. Struck her out, very similar pitch. And Tinsley gets the first out of the night.
And Kellyanne Perez was yelling at Taylor Tinsley in the circle, keep it down. Went to the same pitch 2 times in a row, and Haley Tony just let Taylor Tinsley off the hook. She was struggling to throw strikes, and Tony chases 2 for the strikeout with the bases loaded.
It's her first strikeout in 23 batters since the end of the 4th. Now Mia Williams rips one foul. Williams, 2 hard singles, hit by a pitch, a home run, and a flyout. Bases loaded, 1 out. A run across in the 9th for Texas Tech. Their home run and RBI leader at the plate. Ball. Great take by Williams.
Well, and Tinsley, to Kellyanne Perez's point, is keeping the ball down, throwing a lot of drop balls in this inning, trying to get Texas Tech to hit some ground balls and not have pitches get elevated and elevated out of here via the long ball.
Ball. Close one. Ball 2. So you just look lower as a team now if you're Texas Tech?
I would. Trying to get your barrel to the bottom half of the ball now, because this is mostly what Tinsley is throwing, is this drop ball. You can tell she's kind of changing her motion with it too.
Popped up on pitch number 180.
Decided to go up there and a 2-1 count. Mia Williams just missed that rise ball, led her high. Likely to go back to the drop ball here or her changeup.
Terry, Spearman, and Valdez around the bases. 1 out, 9th inning. 2-2 pitch in the dirt. Williams shakes her head. It'll be a 3-2. Hard to pick the most dangerous hitter in the lineup for Texas Tech, given the star power. At the moment, though, this may be the one. The All-American, who's reached base 4 times today. Grounds a 3-2 into the dirt.
Kevin, Taylor Tinsley is just not giving in here. I mean, you could see her relying on this drop ball. That is not one of what you would say her best 2 or 3 pitches that she throws, but she's going to it situationally here and still having success off of it.
Will she go to it again on 3-2? Another payoff. Swing and a miss! No strikeouts in a 22 batter span. She gets 2 straight with the bases loaded.
Not giving in and getting the chase. Tony and Williams both chasing the drop ball down in the dirt, helping Taylor Tinsley out, and they just continue to go to that drop ball, show a little bit of rise. But man, down in the zone is where it's at right now for Tinsley.
Maya Davis to shortstop. Garcia bobbles into the run, scores. Now they've got Spearman hung up. And at the plate, Spearman will be tagged out. The normally sure-handed Garcia bobbles the ground ball, and another run scores. Texas Tech gets 2 in the 9th and leads it 8-6. The Bruins have the big bats coming up with Grant due up 3rd and Woolery, who tied it, due up 4th. But they will need to rally again. Nigeri Kennedy got them fired up with a strikeout to end the 8th. Paddle and Terry come through in the 9th, and they're once again 3 outs from the semis. Kennedy is technically in the circle right now, but that's only in the literal sense because she's returned to first base after getting the last out of the 8th inning. Caitlin Terry, for the 3rd time, has re-entered to pitch. This is the 5th pitching change of the game, but Terry Glasgow's only used 2 pitchers. And once more, Caitlin Terry will try to close this out. She started the 7th inning, gave up a home run to Ramsey Suarez, came out, came back in to get the final out of the 7th, the first 2 outs of the 8th, allowed a hit, came out. So Jolena Lamar struck out in her only at-bat against Terry. And Texas Tech is once again 3 outs away from eliminating UCLA and heading to the semifinals. It'll be Lamar, then Riley Slimp, then Megan Grant. If anybody gets on, Jordan Woolery, who tied it with a 2-out homer in the 9th. High fly to center from Lamar, but not deep enough. And it will be the first out in this 9th inning. So 2 outs to get for Texas Tech after a 2-run 9th inning. And right now, Caitlin Terry stands to be not only the pitcher to close it out, but stands to have delivered the winning hit with her double in the 9th against the team she transferred from, against the team she helped lead to the World Series 2 years in a row. 5 innings of relief, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 7 strikeouts. She has been brilliant, save maybe 1 pitch. 0-1 to Riley Slimp. And a ground ball through the right side is a base hit. And that means Megan Grant, once more, represents the tying run. Grant was hit by a pitch in the first. She's 0 for 3 since, but her teammate, her best friend, her partner in crime of the lineup, Jordan Woolery, has picked her up. Now can Grant return the favor? She's homered in her last 3 World Series games into tonight. Back-to-back first-team All-American, a National Player of the Year finalist. And before the next pitch, Tara Archibald out to chat with Caitlin Terry.
I wanted to get this one right for sure after that really wild pitch that she threw to Grant. The first pitch of her at bat, Caitlin Terry has had such good command. I think that made Tara Archibald want to go out and talk to her to make sure everybody's on the same page. And the 2 hits that Grant has had at the World Series in 3 games have both been home runs. It's kind of been all or nothing for Grant here.
She's 2 for 9. Has walked once, has been hit by a pitch. But as you mentioned, those 2 hits are long ones. Missed the target of Valdez badly. Might have been right near the edge of the zone, but doesn't get the call. And Grant in the driver's seat on 2-0. 1 on, 1 out in the 9th. That is a strike at the top of the zone. The first teammates in D1 history with 30 homers in the same season. Woolery with words of encouragement from the on-deck circle. 2-1 pitch. Way too tall. And after every pitch, you can see it. Jordan Woolery breathing life into Megan Grant. A 3-1 from Caitlin Terry. Not even close to the backstop. Ball 4. And Jordan Woolery, who has homered twice, represents the winning run.
Both those home runs coming off of Nyjah Kennedy, a rise ball and an 0-2 pitch all the way back in the first, a 2-run bomb for Woolery, and then she also had one off of a changeup off of Kennedy. These big swings, Woolery has been so clutch in her career. This is going to be a tough out for Terry.
Facing Terry for the 2nd time in the game, she blasts it through the middle for a base hit. The tying run, Grant to 2nd. The winning run, Woolery to 1st. 5 RBIs for Jordan in the game. Bruins fight back to make it 8-7. kept in the ballpark this time, but keeps the line moving.
Sends it right back up the middle of the field, a curveball that just did not get in enough. And Jordan Woolery can beat in a couple of different ways. Home runs, but can also just shoot a single up the middle for another RBI.
Well, there was no chance that Jerry Glasgow was going to allow Nyjri Kennedy to face Jordan Woolery again, but he will bring Nyjri Kennedy back in to face Alina Garcia. And now Caitlin Terry's going to go into left field. It's been a while since she's been there. Terry's been in left, Logan Halliman's been in left, Michaela Garcia's been in left, Desiree Spearman's been in left, and now Terry is back in left, where she did misplay a ball earlier. How tough is this for a pitcher to do what Nyjri Kennedy and Caitlin Terry are being asked to do here?
I would say it's fairly difficult. You're not used to this. You don't do this a lot in high school or travel ball. This is very unique with how Jerry Glasgow likes to use his pitchers this way, and in softball we can. So it's not like you never see it, but you have seen it before, and it's his way to manipulate the lineup. But it's tough as a pitcher to go in and out. You get locked in, you go to first base or left field, or you go to the bench, and just know that you have to stay ready at any given time that Coach Glasgow might put you in.
Well, the batter here is Alina Garcia. And in the top of the 9th inning, Alina Garcia committed an error on that ground ball from Maya Davis that allowed the 8th run to score. Now, obviously, we don't know how these at-bats would play out. You can't butterfly effect this, but maybe, just maybe, if Garcia fields that ground ball cleanly, it's a tie game. As it stands, the tying run Grant at second, the winning run Woolery at first. UCLA down a run with 2 outs to go. Garcia 0 for 3 in the game, hit by a pitch from Kennedy. And swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Here's Terry once again in the center of the action. And once again, UCLA is down to its final out. And a team with 2 historic seniors on the base paths is down to a freshman, Bri Alejandre.
This is a moment where Nyjri Kennedy really has to spot her pitches here. A rise ball pitcher, she's going to want to live more up in the zone, but Alejandre, a home run hitter at the plate.
Kennedy re-entering into this game for the 3rd time, her 70th pitch. A big rip by Alejandre on a pitch right near the heart of the plate. It's been a tough night and a tough World Series for Bri. 0 for 8, 5 strikeouts at the World Series. First and second, 2 down. Takes ball 2. Kennedy's career, both team seasons on the line. Grant and Woolery aboard. Ball 3, a pitch that Nyjah really wanted.
Thought this was a strike, got the bottom of the zone.
Looked perfect. Instead, it's 3-1. Could have been 2-2. And a swing and a miss. And we will go to a full count with 2 outs and 2 on in a 1-run game with the semifinals on the line. Strike 3! Nyjah Kennedy is not done yet, and neither is Texas Tech. 8-7 the final. Red Raiders win it in 9.
what a game. And the first person that Nyjah Kennedy looked to as they were running in to celebrate the win was Caitlin Terry. A massive embrace between those two, going back and forth, and a lot of love and embrace should be given to Taylor Tinsley as well. But Kennedy and Terry bearing down when they need to. A one-run game, 24 hits in this game. This was an absolute brawl. And unfortunately, like we saw Jordy Fromm's career come to an end earlier, Megan Grant and Jordan Woolery are officially done playing college softball in that UCLA uniform.
Despite a 5 RBI game for Woolery, their careers left stranded on base. Our Capital One rewarding performance goes to Caitlin Terry.
Caitlin Terry just came in and took control of this game with the way that she found the strike zone early. She was able to pound the zone, had 7 strikeouts, had the big double. A two-way player, and Caitlin Terry was so clutch. I mean, so much pressure on her, pitching against her former team, hitting against her former team. And that's why she's the player of the game.
And she is with Alyssa Lang.
Caitlin, not only did you have a huge day in the circle, but you had the winning hit. Walk me through your mindset going up against your former team in a win-or-go-home game today.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't successful my first 3 at-bats. I think just kind of staying on top of the ball and knowing for what I'm hunting for and just honestly getting it for my team.
When it comes to the way you and Nyjah pass the ball back and forth, how would you describe the trust you have in each other?
I mean, it's insane. It's something we did at the beginning of the season, and this is what it's meant for. Like, we did that for this reason, and we just love Nyjah, love this team. Come on.
You guys are no strangers to clutch time situations. When this game goes into extra innings, walk me through what the conversations were like with this team.
I mean, it's just stay calm, play our game. It's a 0-0 ball game at the end of the day, even if it's extra innings, just kind of trusting each other.
You guys are still alive. You get a shot at Alabama tomorrow, but you got to beat them twice. Why can this team do it?
Just for the family, honestly. This team just plays for each other. The love that each other has for each other, it's just amazing.
Caitlin, congratulations.
Thank you.
Adrenaline still coursing through the veins at Caitlin Terry, and tears flowing for Jordan Woolery, who did everything. 3 hits, 2 homers, 1 game-tying homer of the night, drove in 5. This is the agony of the sport, that somebody's career has to end. And for Jordan Woolery and Megan Grant, who put together the most prolific power hitting season for a duo in D1 history, we will see them in the AUSL. Their career ends at UCLA. Congratulations to them and Taylor Tinsley, who pitched her guts out. But it's Texas Tech joining Texas. The teams to win today and advance to the semis. Tennessee, Texas, noon Eastern tomorrow. And then at 7 Eastern, Alabama, who probably enjoyed all 9 innings of this, gets to take on Texas Tech. What a night. More to come tomorrow and more to come this week. The thrill, the drama, the ecstasy, the agony of the World Series were on display tonight. And in the end, Texas Tech and Jerry Glasgow live to fight another day. For Amanda Scarborough, Alyssa Lang, our wonderful ESPN crew, I'm Kevin Brown. Let's get you to College Station for college baseball.